The time is nigh. Open up your eyes to see the signs of the times. Got to be wise to all of their lives. Look to the sky from where my help comes. Wake up, got to wake up from the slumber. Don't let them pull you under. Rise up off the water. Never let them wrestle you into the mud.
Yes. Wait, hold on. Let me check. Greetings, family. Greetings in the name of His and Her Imperial Majesty Emperor Haile Selassie I, Empress Rosera Menin. One perfect balance. Welcome to Politically Incorrect, where we get it correct. And if we're not correct, please feel free to correct us. This is the home for the people and by the people of the people, bringing you
real news for the people in real time.
Real news for the people in real time. Can y'all believe it? I mean, if I gotta say it, y'all know what. If I gotta say it, y'all know what it is. It's Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Can y'all believe it's Friday again? I just said that like a hot minute ago. I can't believe it. It's like time now is in the quickening. Well, people say the day is getting shorter. And I'm saying, well, it's not that the days are getting shorter. What's basically happened is that we are doing more in the 24 than we were doing before. So, it seems like it's less time, but it's the same time. You're just doing a lot more. And, when you're doing a lot more, sometimes you tend to overlook some things and slip sometimes and get into issues, man. But tonight we have a very special program, and I really hate to have to say this, but it's about corruption in Barbados. I think, the question is, all in favor? Aye. I think the ayes have it. And what do I mean by the ayes have it? I mean that people are beginning to see the writing on the wall. People are beginning to see what I've been saying. See what I've been saying. Don't let that miss you. With me tonight is no special guest, but we have a special discussion, a very special discussion. What I'm holding is actually receipts. And every one of these documents has on it an official, let me see if I can find it, an official stamp of the government of Barbados, Barbados Land Registry Department, and a date, by the way. They all have stamps and dates. So this is not nothing that is fugazi. We have assets and all, we have conveyances and all. Oh yeah, we have what we have here. We have more conveyances and all. We have what is this? A death certificate, an official death certificate. What else we got? We have, wait a minute, what is this? Okay. I don't know if I should say this one though. Spray it, say, don't say that one. But this one right here, if I read the first line, this is the last will and testimony of. I can leave that one for a bit later. Hold on. May not mention it, but I can leave that. But anyhow, where am I going with this tonight, family? Well, go tell a friend and tell a friend, first of all, at Politically Incorrect, up and running. They're up and running. Go tell a friend and tell a friend. I will that all y'all had a beautiful and magnificent week. I hope your week was strong. I sincerely hope your week was strong. I also have some pictures to reveal tonight. Serious pictures. Viewers, in fact, let me say this up front. Viewers' discretion is advised. If you ain't got a strong stomach and you can't handle certain things, I'm going to show some photographs tonight that are going to be a bit disturbing for some people. Yeah. So I'm telling you in the early, I don't want to do this, family, but I got to do this, family. So let me just get it out the way in the early. This isn't about no feelings. This is about information and facts. We dealing with facts, not speculation. Not no. No speculation. We're dealing with facts. So NSG, respect to you in the early out. No, in fact, hold on a minute. I mean, speaking of respect, man. Speaking of respect, I got a tune here, man. Uh, yeah. Let me. This one. I got to do this. I got to. Normally, lately I've been playing the tunes after the fact. But I got to definitely play a tune tonight in the early out. I got to set the meditation right, man. I got to set it right, man. So I got to drop a tune in a minute. Just a little tune, man. Yeah, let me just send that right there. Get that right there. Oh man, good night. Miss Welch, good night. Good night to you too, family. Good night to all. Shout out to the family in UK, away, over, and abroad. Big respect. Listen, shout out to Bajan Vibes, man. I'm like I said, you got to get credit where credit is due. They've been doing some work lately that I've been paying attention to. I don't know if I subscribe to everything. I might have a different perspective. Not that it is right or that they're wrong or they're wrong and I'm right or vice versa. But it's okay to have a different of opinion. This is why brothers and sisters should fellowship and dwell together and reason together. Shout out to Big Pain in the house, man. Shout out to Andrea too. Mr. Alfred, greetings. Big shout out, big chill out. Peace more. Peace. Monica Payne. Monica, man. Just one of them days, Monica. Just one of them days. Jack Cullen, love and light to you too. Greetings to Rowan. I didn't know how you drive so fast, but you're like you're easy. You're like you're easy. You're like you're easy at all, man. Sean, I see you too. I see you. Clark, big greetings, family. Oh man, Clark. Listen, Clark. Tonight is going to be one of them nights. I'm telling you, man. All in favor of dismissing corruption and stopping corruption in Barbados? Say I. See, because the problem is that if you don't see it, you can't speak on it. A lot of people see it and don't say nothing. Well, if you see it and don't say nothing, I mean, you don't really see it because you don't recognize the damage that it's going to cause you as well. So those who see it and speak on it, yeah, we're going to deal with them tonight, man. That's what's up, man. They say the truth hurts. It's going to hurt tonight, family. In fact, I'm going to have to play a clip from the Marcia Week show. So I'm going to play a clip from the Marcia Week show. And I would like to, in fact, let me put the number up because I don't want anybody to say that I don't, give the opportunity. The number's on the screen. You can call me anytime. 838-8253. But I got a question on two for Mr. Franklin tonight. And by the way, this doesn't disrupt the works he's been doing. He's been doing a lot of works in terms of exposing the corruption within the government. But the truth is, so does the Attorney General and a bunch of other folks. And, the Auditor General, let me say, because the Attorney General, oh man, that's another conversation. But the Auditor General, he put the information out there. A lot of people put information out there, but then nothing happens because especially those who have the information, don't go as deep as trying to hold people accountable, trying to call their office and arrange meetings to actually see them and get the facts straight. Well, Mr. Caswell said some things a couple nights ago that I don't know, man. I was in shock. In fact, I'm sure everybody who was on that program that night was perhaps in shock. And shout out to Marcia, by the way. Marcia is wise, like she said, these allegations, and I commend her for her wisdom in using that word. And that was his safety net. But instead, Mr. Caswell decided to abandon the safety net, and he went ahead and jumped. I suppose he was, putting his faith in his ability to fly. Well, I'm not sure if Caswell landed softly or he crashed, but I just have some questions because he made some statements that are, damaging statements, towards people that I know he doesn't know personally, and also damaging statements almost partially incriminating himself. And I don't know if people paying attention because I think there's a lot of heat right now on particular individuals on that platform. I'm hearing that people getting letters and stuff. I keep telling you, that ain't nothing to play with, man. And so I don't know if stroking the fire is the thing to do at this point, Mr. Caswell. But I got some questions for you on politically incorrect. You got my number. You know, the number's on the screen. I don't think you can come off the program tonight to call in, so that may not happen. But you can always arrange to come back another night if you so choose. But I'm gonna keep this last one, this last document here. I have about 5-6 documents in front of me. And this one is the seven, right? The seventh, seven. We gonna discuss some things though. So before I go discussing some things, let me go and drop this tune real quick. Meanwhile, while I drop this tune, family, wait, hold on. I want y'all to go tell a friend to tell a friend. Go tell a friend to tell a friend. Politically Incorrect is up and running. Take this minute to go and nudge your neighbor. In the meantime, I'm going to attempt to download some footage here for tonight. I got some photographs to share with you. They are very sensitive. Like I said, some folks may find them a bit disturbing. I'm a bit embarrassed, to be honest with you. I got to do this. I'm really embarrassed. I really am embarrassed, and I don't get embarrassed. But the reason why I am embarrassed is because it reflects also. Man, look, let me just. You know what? We'll tell a friend and tell a friend, family. Let me play this tune here and set my meditation straight, because tonight we one of them nights. I'm telling you, man. It's going to be one of them nights, man. It's going to be one of them nights. In fact, before I start though, man, before I get all into it, let me just go ahead and do something else here real quick. Let me do something else real quick. Let me give some more recognition. Maria, I give thanks, family. We see you. Empress, go tell a friend and tell a friend, Empress. I'm telling you, tonight is the sort of night. Straight up. Salute to you too, family. Maximum respect. You and the whole family. Jacqueline, you're looking, huh? You're looking, Jacqueline. I'm telling you, smiling butterflies. Listen, listen, I mean, just say the family good. I trust and will that you great as well. It's going to be one of them nights, butterfly. I'm telling you, man. Jackie paying attention. Yep. More, I see you too. Speaking of more, anybody seen Steve more recently? I don't even know if I have Steve's number. I know. Maybe I'll call and wake Steve up. It might be like 1 o'clock in England now, or 2 o'clock in the morning. He might be out cold. Oh no, he's on talking. Really? Well, that's why I said I know it wouldn't make no sense me inviting Cal as well on the platform, because I know that he's dedicated to the Marcia Weeks program, and that's all good. You know, they're doing work. So I said bringing awareness to the people. We all for that. But what we're not for is making statements on a platform that people will take you serious and take every word you're saying as if it is the gospel. And you got to be very, in fact, there's something I always say, you got to be careful how you introduce truth to people who have not heard it, because it's a funny thing. And I don't know if I agree with some of the things that was said. So in an effort to level the playing field, I'm going to present my information, and we'll go from there, because I can't in my right mind let somebody take a shot at an 80. I think mom is 84. Mom is 85. Jackie, how old is mom? She's 85. How old is mom now? Shout out to moms, by the way, the matriarch. Shout out to the matriarch, man. Shout out to moms. Moms makes these dolls, right? Y'all got to see the dolls she's made. Like, you got to see them. She makes dolls, people. Don't play around. You know, don't, let me stop. But she makes some beautiful. She has a handcraft thing, like most of our grandparents would have had at the time. You know, our elders was into craft, and they studied a craft. Listen to my words carefully. They studied a craft. That's why she's so vibrant and full of life, despite she's in her 80s. And if I'm not mistaken, she's 85, maybe 86. I don't want to put too much ahead. So, mom, I hope I'm not putting age on you. But I can't let somebody take a shot at an 80 plus year old woman and not seek to at least defend her in her right standing. So I'm gonna put this right over here. You know, I'm gonna leave it out for now. But that right there, having said that though, family, let me go ahead, and like I said, I want to drop a tune, man. Beverly, we see you too. You say you near. Okay, are we leaving at 80 plus? She's in her 80s. 80s. She's in her 80s. She's heading towards the 90 mark in her 80s. Nah, man, you crazy. Full respect and honors, man. Considering all women, all people have been through, to be in that stage, in that state, and be able to still hold firm is an honor given to us by God, man. You don't diss the ancestors. She is a representation of all those that came before, all carrying the weight of all that was here before and guiding all those that came after. Yeah, study it, man. But I want to play this tune real quick. That's a quick tune, real quick. Got to play part of this tune here, man. It's a must, man. It is a must. It is a must. It is a must. It is a must. Give thanks and praise.
Victory.
Victory, family.
Now.
Victory, man. Victory, man.
Oh, Lord, I know my enemies. It's my friends I want to meet. I have had my share of ups and downs. Took the bitter with the sweet. There are few bad-minded people
Victory looks
trying to knock me off my feet.
better with the sweet, man.
No matter how hard the battle be, Jah will give me the victory. Jah give me victory. For all the world to see.
The world to see, Father.
Victory.
Give us victory, Father. If nothing else, give us victory, man.
Sweet. Jah give me victory.
You only want victory?
For all the world to see. Sweet victory.
Sweet.
Now, these blessings are sure and sweet.
Blessings, sure and sweet. Let me start tunes you can't play one. Jackie, this for moms, Jackie. This tune for moms, man.
Victory. Now. Oh Lord, I know my enemies. It's my friends I want to meet. I have had my share of ups and downs. Took the bitter with the sweet. There are few bad-minded people trying to knock me off my feet. No matter
victory, moms.
About
victory.
Give me the victory. Jah give me victory.
Victory from Miss Stewart, man.
For all the world to see.
And the Stewart, man.
Victory. Now
they brought the poverty ancestors.
Blessings are sure and sweet.
All the ancestors.
Now.
All 30,000 that Draxall said they'd kill.
Sweet victory.
They unalive. Sorry, you can't use them words on this platform.
So sure.
They unalive the people, man.
There is a land.
Call all the ancestors tonight.
Where night turns into day. And everyone
calling all the ancestors tonight, man.
You would see little children.
Rise up.
Where people dying for hunger. Went on taxman waiting like
enough is enough, family.
Poor people can't take.
Enough is enough, family. Poor people ain't dealing with this no more.
Let this
yards what?
Victory. Now. That's what the people need.
People need victory.
Victory.
They don't want nothing else but victory.
Many hungry mouths to feed. Victory. Now.
Got some questions for you, Kia, as well.
Out on the street.
All of we.
Now. For the child with nothing to eat. I lift my hands and heart to Jah. His mercy is what I see. Although
I'm telling you that escape though.
The heart is strong, but the
what do to get with a black hit now?
Jah can take away your burden. Help you
fire
your feet. From your trespass, give you pardon. Soon you
we declare the victory, family.
Victory. Now. Lots of hungry mouths to feed. Victory. No.
The days of our youth. That's right, mom.
Need victory. No.
We ain't old, we young.
Nothing to eat. The rich is getting richer.
Tell a friend, family. Go tell a friend and tell a friend.
Food and shelter is all that he asks for. And we know just what is required. Victory. Now. For all the world to see.
God give us victory. Yes, family. For those observing tonight as a sacred day, we're going to say Shabbat Shalom to you. Assalamu alaikum to the Islamic community. Peace, Islam to the Moors. Y'all already know. Ashe Hotep to the conscious community. Rastafari, Kidamari to my brothers and sisters, and to everyone else tuning in tonight on Politically Incorrect. It is pure love, nothing but light. Light called light, right? Light that came out the dark. Light that came out the dark is what we're dealing with, man. Straight up. We walk with the power of thousands of ancestors. They said Draxol killed approximately 30,000. Well, you know, if they tell you 30,000, it's probably like treat that to the third power. But you know, they don't ever really tell you the truth of the matter. That's more like that to the third power. But that's all right. That's all right. That's okay. We can get to it, man. Let me stop share this screen right here. Let me get right into it, man. So you can't make this stuff up. Let me see where I should start first, because a lot of stuff going on right now in the region. In fact, let me start with this first. There was a lady here. They had a talk. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. I don't have all the details, but I do plan to speak on this perhaps next week in terms of what she said, a lot of what she said, and a lot of what people heard. And I want to share it with you now in brief. But let me bring it on the screen. This is from Her Excellency, the former, well, she's the previous Prime Minister, I think, of President actually of Liberia, and she had a lot to say. What I value, and I didn't watch the entire thing. In fact, the spirit led me to a clip. I just was kind of skimming through it because I heard the brother speaking poetry, and I was hoping he was going to sing. He's going to speak the one on the plantation, but I guess the audience, he had to pick and choose which one, that they were more comfortable with, because a spoken word artist, that's how he make his money. I don't think that was a free event, but he got to pay his bills. I understand, but at what cost? Another story. Shout out to Adrian Green, by the way. Shout out to Adrian Green. But this lady last night spoke and said a few things that I thought was so profound. And Carol Roberts, by the way, who is in charge, who's put in place to govern the affairs of the National Culture Foundation, the Negro Culture Foundation, was interesting because at one point I felt that because you see, we in Barbados, I find that those in the system tend to think that people think like them. This woman last night dropped so much bars of gold that you have to be conscious to hear what she was saying that she wasn't saying when she said it. But I heard it, because I heard it. I saw and I heard. The eyes have it. The eyes have it. Not the eye. The eyes have it. And I definitely want to speak on it because Liberia is a place that was interesting, because don't forget, there are 3 countries in Africa that were never colonized. Well, let me phrase that. Sorry. There are 3 countries in the world that was never colonized. Never colonized by the colonizers, in a sense. 1 is Russia. 2 is Ethiopia, as we already know. And the 3rd one would be Liberia. But Liberia only got into that equation because it was a created state coming out of America when they had some issues with George Washington. I chopped down the cherry. I cannot tell a lie. I chopped down the cherry tree. Y'all may have heard that before. But what y'all don't know is the truth behind why he said that. He chopped down the cherry tree. The cherry tree is the Moroccan flag he was talking about, that red flag with the green star. Yeah. He was talking about that. So when Noble Drew Ali, peace be upon him, you can Google that name if y'all don't know who that is. His name is Noble Drew Ali. Man, look, let me go a little deeper into this thing. Let me just put it this way, family. There's a lot more to this story than they told, but the sister dropped some nuggets, and I wanted to play a quick clip of it, just a quick clip. She even talked about how, man, I didn't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it, but she even talked about how they took the endangered people, the indigenous people, the original people, and like she said, some harm was done, even from changing names and whatnot. And her name, she admitted, but my name was changed too. My current name isn't my family's name. So Carl asked her, I could call her Carol first name basis, right? She said, well, do you know your father's name? Her response was priceless. Priceless. Of course I do. What do you mean if I know my father's name? Don't you know your father's name? No. because Barbados is not a real place. But I definitely want to speak on it, and I'm just going to play this clip really quick. This little clip.
We had two groups coexisting. Those who represented the descendants of those that were part of the formation of the Republic in 1847, and the original indigenous population, all searching for the means of assimilation. Education remained the key, and everyone needed to go to school. There were no very developed apparatus in the country. And for many of us who came up in a mixed situation where indigenous children were helped by settlers' children to get an education, still went back to the village, if that's where you were. For me, it was the good days. There were no theaters, no, what do you call it? Oh, no tweets, no Facebooks, Instagram, all of those things. Everything was conveyed personally, individually, through your church, through your pastor, through your, everyone else was family. And if you ever obeyed the laws, anyone in your community or in your circle could discipline you.
Sounds familiar?
On behalf of your...
Sounds so much like growing up in Barbados.
Yeah.
So much like growing up in Barbados.
Aren't we one?
Yes. In your book, this child...
She said, aren't we one? Aren't we one? I like it. I like it. What she says next, though, is mind-blowing. And I don't even think Carol realized it, because if she had, I would have definitely spent a few more minutes to get her to bring that to the forward, because it was so important and empowering to indigenous people. But of course, Carol wouldn't see that, because perhaps she, well, I wouldn't say that. No, maybe she was, I don't know. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. But the fireside chat, she allowed people, she dropped what she said what she said when she said it. And we're going to discuss that, because we're going to discuss Liberia, because Liberia is not as innocent as we like to think it is, man. Because the United States created Liberia. It was supposed to be the home for the freed Africans from America who wanted to go back to Africa. Well, mostly those who were of Islamic faith. Let me use these words carefully. At the time, when they approached the then president and said, you can't enslave these people. They're part of my nation. What are you talking about? This is ours. And they made an agreement. Well, you can't stay here because I don't want no problems. Y'all gotta go way over there, set up camp. You can't set up camp here. But of course, they didn't let them set up camp on their own. They wanted to keep an eye on them. And keep an eye on them, they did. But anyhow, we're gonna get to that a little later next week. But having said that, I without reservations, I want to jump right into something here. And the sister Miss Cole on the program last night, first night, well, 2 nights ago, brought up a topic, a situation where she was discussing in Barbados issues with Barbados being for sale. And she's right in what she's saying. She's right. She's absolutely right. And then, she was cut off at some point. Well, Marcy, with your permission, I want to play this clip real quick. Let me just go ahead and do this real quick here, man.
And I also wanted to mention something about Drax Hall. Don't you find it strange that has been in the media for, I guess this is about 2 weeks now, and we have not heard a squeak from Hillary Beckles? Don't you find it strange? I have not heard it anywhere where he made not even a single comment on this subject.
Well, let me just throw something in here real quick. Y'all remember a few years ago, Mr. Beckles' son was well, I said accused. I don't know. Allegedly, there was an incident in Jamaica and somebody was unalived, and I think they pointed the direction in his son. And, you know, Hillary being who he is in his position, the faculty and whatnot, that's as far as I heard. I don't even know if anybody ever remembered that case at all, where his son was accused, allegedly, you use Marcia's safety net word, allegedly accused of unaliving someone. Well, I don't know what the outcome was, how that played out, but these days are some funny nights. And these nights are some funny days. So, you know, he has the title, sir. You know, he's part of the old guard.
And this man is forefront in the reparations arena. They have at the University of the West Indies in Mona, there's an entire department that is dedicated to reparations. And that is where he sits as, I think he is, I'm not sure of his title now, but he is there. So something has happened.
Well, something has happened that like always happens in Barbados. And let me just go forward here a little bit on this clip to get to the point we want to get to. I trust that this is it here. But something has happened that has always happened in Barbados. You know, a lot of the older people that we think should be in a certain place, you know, sometimes becomes a bit compromised in some way or the other. Sometimes you don't want to, like Sir Garfield Sobers. Let me just go out there and say this. Sir Garfield Sobers, one of the best cricketers known in the world, does not and has never had a junior cricket league or camp. Why does he not have some facility to train, guide, and teach young men in Barbados and perhaps the Caribbean to come in and learn and train in a facility designed by Sir Garfield Sobers? Give these young men the power of, I went to Sir Garfield Sobers training camp to play cricket. I want to be next on the West Indies team. He don't have it. Why? Because they silence him by giving him the title sir. What do you think the title sir means? It means you silence. You will say only what I allow you to say until I want you to say otherwise. You can only say what you can say when I say you can say it. When I give you permission to say it, you can say it. And that's what the problem is, family.
Tax season. And I want everyone to examine their bills to see what it is claimed that they owe the land tax department. And I wonder if Caswell had any information to provide on the member of parliament who had raised the issue of her land tax in parliament. Was the matter resolved? Did anything come out of that? And the people who lived in her district who are possibly in the same situation that she is, that they're not farmers, they just own a few things in their backyards and so on, has their land tax.
1 second, Heather, do you want Mr. Franklin to respond to that now?
Yes.
What I can tell you is that Sonia Brown's taxes have been adjusted.
Well, we're going to skip Sonia.
All I can tell you is that somebody is covering their tracks by now reducing her taxes by 50%.
Well, I like the fact that we can realize that somebody is covering somebody's tracks. That's a profound statement, because what happens next, man, is nothing short of somebody covering somebody's tracks, man. But y'all tell me if I'm wrong tonight.
So it will come back down to where it used to be. And a few others got their properties adjusted as well, because rather than take action against the officers who have been corrupt and abused in the system, they're trying to cover them up.
Rather than take action against the officers that they know corrupt, rather than take actions against those that you have knowledge of, What you do? Trying to cover up. You know, you're trying to cover up.
The officer who had her house, this mansion between two smaller houses, and her house was cheaper than the smaller houses. They're saying, well, hers is in a flood-prone area. Now, if she is in a flood-prone area, her neighbors will be in a flood-prone area. But they're finding excuses rather than dealing with the real issues. So I would like to hear from Sonia Brown if she actually had the gall to go to the Ministry of Agriculture and apply for a farming rebate and get back, and mind you, get back so quick, because you don't get them back so quick. And then when you take that into the thing, because the Bra people, they cannot adjust your tax with a farmer rebate unless you get this thing from the Ministry of Agriculture. But if somebody purports to have it and they put it in the system, we wouldn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Caswell. Continue, Heather. Thank you.
Heather is muted.
Yeah, she's good now.
Because now I also want to look at, as I said, I'm looking at land widely. And in the past, we have had so many instances, some of them are well known, some are not, of cases where land has been stolen from the correct owners in Barbados.
Now, let me put a pause here really quick. What she's saying is that she wants to touch on the topic of land being stolen from people in Barbados, people who would have inherited land from their family and somehow it just missed it. You know what you find real interesting in Barbados though? And these lawyers, yeah, is only the Black people who inherit land through their family that end up somehow being twisted in some scam, some alleged donation to some dog pound or some madness, some alleged donation. And I got to use that word because according to the bank statement and the transfer, anyhow, from the office of Mr. Anyhow, I can get to that. Don't worry, I can get to that. My question is, how comes Mr. Draxall land wasn't taken from Mr. Draxall, but he inherited it the same way? He inherited land through his ancestors, through those was here before, and he still got his intact. But Black people in Barbados, what we call Black people, the poor people in Barbados, who we identify as those not as financially in a position to, somehow these lawyers always finding a way to defraud them. Why you want to, and here's the thing though, they always sell them out to who? Some Caucasian looking individual every single time. And y'all feel y'all gonna keep doing this all the time. And then like Caswell said, covering up. Good word, Caswell. I like that one, covering up. I know Mr. Caswell ain't covering up nothing. I know he's on here, he be putting it out there. So I just got some questions for him because apparently he got receipts too. He got folders and files and documents on a lot of things. So maybe he got one of the documents I don't have. So we're gonna find out because we got to clear this up, man. We can't have this. We can't have this. This right here, we not having this. We ain't fixing to come out here, man, and start to tear down those who was here before us that inherited through the sweat, blood, and tears of their ancestors, and we gonna justify theft and corruption. Nah, man, we ain't fixing to do that. We fixing to do a lot of things, but that ain't one of them.
Some of the well-known ones, for example, was a man named Jerry Nurse, and his property or his family's property is, I think it's in Oistins or just outside of Oistins.
Mm-hmm.
A house, I know exactly where it is. So it's just probably in Scarborough, Scarborough, just above Oistins. And he has been in
the one in Maxwell too, that the Chinese took. We know that, out to Plant D. We know that too, but go ahead.
Contention with the government for that property for several years now, quite a few years. And he has never gained possession of it. And I think for his health, he decided to let go of that. We had also had Jackie Stewart.
Shout out to Jackie and the whole clan.
Who she and her mother lived in the UK, and their land, their beachfront property, I think it was. I think
beachfront property, Tyrone Blackman said, allegedly.
I think it was in St. James. I may I think so. I'm not absolutely sure.
Yeah, St. James, right there on the beach. It's beachfront property.
But that was taken away from them. And
These
we also-
these are the allegations.
these are the allegations.
I love Marcia Weeks, you know. Marcia Weeks is so wise as a woman. You know, these are allegations. And unfortunately, Marcia wouldn't have the documents that point otherwise. Because, like I was about to say,
Yes.
No, that is not an allegation. That is the fact.
like I said, like I was about to say, this is a fact. But what's not a fact is what comes next.
But the,
Yeah,
but
but
the-
we are
the
saying
facts-
that. We're
But the
saying that.
facts were that the beneficiary, the executor of that estate, what was Jackie Stewart, the sister or her aunt, whichever, there's a mother and daughter, and the lady who sold it, she was the executor of the parents' estate, and they had some family knowledge, and the executor sold the property.
Now, hold on. Let me say this right here. You know, there's a movie called Menace to Society. Now, I don't, like I said, that statement right there that he just made isn't accurate, first of all. So I want to just put that in the record. It isn't an accurate statement. That is not a factual statement. You know, that would then be allegedly, I suppose. That might be the allegation, but that is not the facts. There was a family dispute. Yeah, I admit there was a dispute, but the dispute led to an injunction in the court. Court documents were filed. There was an injunction on, guess what? The sale of the property. Now imagine this. A few weeks ago, I brought some documents on here and I showed you firsthand and I read you a will that outlined who inherited what and what was done. And I explained to you with those same documents that this individual, a young lady by the name of Miss Atwell, went ahead. Somehow she was, bear in mind, Miss Atwell was not a woman in her right mind. In fact, anyone that knew Miss Atwell at a year, 2 years, perhaps even 3 years prior to her untimely demise would know and tell you firsthand she started to have some cognitive decline. In fact, dementia was what it was identified as. She was having some challenges, very serious challenges. And I said, I'm embarrassed to even do this. I really don't want to do this, but we got to do this, man. Set the record straight so that we don't make Barbados and Barbadians at home and abroad think that this is the kind of stuff that we promoting and we encouraging and turn the blind eye to it. And nobody here turned the blind eye to it at all. In fact, I think the eyes have it. I think the eyes have it. And for those who have eyes to see, let them see tonight, man. Let them see tonight. Go, somebody send them a message, man. Send them a text because this ain't gonna fly. In fact, I am certain without apology that what was said deliberately, because I know what's going on in the back scene as we speak right now. There's a lot of attention on this matter as we speak in Barbados. So how comes all of a sudden, you had this information and only now you want to speak on it? All of a sudden, that's ironic because anyhow, let me let the rest of this play out.
So it isn't, and donated the money to the RSPCA.
So there was a family, according to Mr. Caswell, there was a dispute. In fact, let me let him finish first. Let me let him finish.
So it is not what a lot of people think. The executor and the sister of that lady was a very good friend of mine. She was a recluse and she lived alone. We spoke every Sunday.
He said she was a recluse and a very good friend of his. We spoke every Sunday. Can anyone give me the definition of a recluse? What does that really mean? Someone who's this is his words. Like I said, she had cognitive decline. He called it a recluse. Okay. We're going to look at the facts tonight and you tell me which one it is, man. Because anybody who's living in these conditions, yes, being a recluse might be part of the symptom of having dementia and whatever else psychological issue they might be having. But it's not without question that the evidence shows that there's a psychological issue. We're going to get to the facts tonight, though, for sure. Because if we about doing what's right, we can't start to hide and cover up. We can't cover up. We can't cover up, man. We're going to have to call a spade a spade. Let me let the rest of this play out, man.
unless it was on the Eleanor telephone company, didn't have my phones working. And she told me everything that she did because of what happened within the family. It isn't what those people come out with this thing and saying, and they cursed me for saying that already on the Barbados underground. But it was a family dispute, and that land was sold by the executor. The executor should have divided the property, but the executor sold it and gave the money to RSPCA because of a family dispute.
I gonna stop there for, in fact.
All right, then we have.
I can stop there for a second, just for a second. So the executor sold the land and they gave it to the RSPCA because of a family dispute. Now, wait a minute. Since you spoke to her all the time, what was the dispute? The dispute was that the mother passed away, like I said in the original program, which I said to y'all, and I showed you the evidence. She left her will. She willed all her property, her whole estate, to her 3 daughters. Unfortunately, one of the daughters transitioned before she did, which left 2 of the daughters. She had made the one that lived in Barbados with her at the time the executrix of the will. This is not disputed. I had shown you that. And within those documents, we also realized that there's another sister who lived abroad. Okay, so that's 2 sisters remaining. Mom's eventually transitioned back in 2007, I think it was. I don't have the dates all to head right now, but she transitioned back in 2007, around that time, 26, 27, give or take. And so from that time, the will was given to the 2 daughters. Naturally, the executrix all that time, from back 2007, all the way having relationships with a particular lawyer, who I've already mentioned his name, I don't need to repeat his name, who I'm sure is a very good friend of our friend, if you follow me. Well, here's a question. Why did it take so long to get the documents transferred, get the conveyance done, get the assets, all this stuff done? Because when and I show you the sale, when they sold the property, by the way, I don't know how she became aware that this individual, by the way, I got his documents here too. Exhibit A. Wait, this is what you're going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I am posting these on the screen. I can read part of this for you. This is a conveyance made the 30th day of March, 2016. These dates are real important, family. Very important. These dates are very important. This is a conveyance made the 30th day of March, 2016 between David Anthony Drayton I'm gonna skip all that address. This person, I'm gonna skip all that. And it was sold in one part to Mr. Paul Nicholas Wright and Sandra Pearl Mary White, husband and wife. They bought this property in Barbados, down there on the beachfront. That's what this was. It also has in all the other typical information, the stamp to the back. There's the stamp. Hold on, there's the stamp right there. You can't say playing wrong. And here's the other stamp now, the notary certificate. This is the notary certificate right on the back page. You see it right there. Yeah, that blue stamp is my stamp. That's the stamp I got from the Barbados Land Registry Department. This is, you can go and collect this. Anybody can have access to this. This is a hidden, secret, cover-up information in the registry. Just have to know the right questions to answer. So this is the information right here. And on the other page now, which is the part I like the most, is the Central Bank of Barbados, right there on the top, right? And it gives you all the details of the sale of the property, which I won't get into in terms of how much millions for that lot he paid. For that lot, which, by the way, is almost similar in sizes, but I ain't gonna get into all them details. Anyhow, let's skip past that. So, in reality, let me paint the picture for you. In this section of Barbados down Western, these lots that the old folks had were slim lots. They weren't big, fancy square lots. They were a certain width, but they were long. They were so long that you could put not just one, not just two, but you could build 3 houses and a driveway on these lots. They were long, slim lots, but they were from the road all the way, you know the coast road, the West Coast Road, they're from the road all the way down to the beach. Just how long these lots are. Mr. Wright bought the one facing the beach, if you're facing east, on the right-hand side. But the drawings he would have had, and I'm sure if you go to town country planning, we would see that he had an application in since a while since he bought this to build a house on both lots. Although he hadn't purchased it yet, I guarantee you, I'm almost certain, if I'm incorrect, please correct me somebody. If you go into town country and find the application that was submitted to build the property that's there now, I'm almost sure that application was probably submitted before the land was even sold fully. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not, I mean, Spirit now whisper and tell me that. Check the file in town country. You can see what's going on. Of course, now if that's the case, you got to have to run now and try to do what they got to do. But in reality is, who was the architect on that project? When did the architect got the project? And when did the architect design that project for both lots? How did Miss Atwell in her state know that this man, this white man from God knows where he from, was interested in buying her lot that she decided to sell because of a family dispute? Was it that her selling the lot to this white man became the contention with the family? What family? There's only two sisters. Mr. Caswell speaking as if it was a whole big family dispute when the mother left the land to three daughters. One passed away, leaving two sisters. The executrix, which is his good friend, which I'm sure he was probably advising. I hate to think that's what it was. And the sister. So wait a minute. When you say a family dispute, you mean a dispute with her sister? What was the dispute, Mr. Franklin? She told you everything. What was the issue she had with her sister? Because according to the sister, the only dispute she had was, why are you going to sell this property to this man when Mr. Payne already approached her about selling the land when they read the will? How many years prior to that? Remember, he asked her to sell, he had approached her to sell this property from way back when moms had transitioned, back in 2008, 2009, or whenever, how long ago it was. And she said, no, I ain't selling. So it comes all of a sudden, Miss Herman decides she gonna sell it, although she doesn't have the papers from the court giving her permission or authority to sell property. How can a woman who does not have authority, according to the documents, she didn't have the documents then, how did she get authority to sell property she don't have authority to sell? And which lawyer decided to facilitate that sale, although he knows she don't have the authority because he didn't have no proof? So you're saying that this thing done go on to another level now, Mr. Caswell. You saying that adds some light to the situation. What I don't understand is how you managed to implicate yourself, because if you spoke to her all the time, she told you everything that was going on, and she sold it and gave the money to the RSPCA. How do you know she gave the money to the RSPCA when, according to Exhibit B, this conveyance is made the 30th day of May, 2018. Listen to me carefully. This is the conveyance right here. The date right there. I'm not even show you. I'm gonna show you the details. Look at it right here. Look, I ain't even playing with it. You can pause if you can't see it. I ain't going through screenshotting and pictures again. I got the document. The receipt right here, man. And you can go to the registry and get your own copy. It says here, man, hold on. Because I'm not just speaking loosely. I bring the receipts, man. Check this out. It says, this conveyance is made the 30th day of May, 2018 between Ermin Atwell and, well, the qualified acting executrix. The qualified acting executrix, words is interesting, of the will of Marie Louise Stewart, also known as Marie Louise Stewart, and it goes on, and it goes on. So the date on this is 2018. Now, from my understanding, there was a percentage that was made for the sale, about a 10% they put down. But the rest of the money can't be handed over till the sale is final. Till the sale is final. You can't get all the money before the sale is final, because without the conveyance, the right documents, you can't transfer the money, because if you give the people the money and the thing don't work out, you got to pay back the money. If you can't pay back the money, it might be a problem. So obviously something has happened. Now, I ain't ignoring the comments, family, but bear with me for a minute. I'm going to get there in a second. So this is 2018, to be exact. Like I said, May the 30th, 2018. Okay. Exhibit C. It's a death certificate of none other than Ermine Atwell, who at age 72 years old transitioned on the 9th of April 2017. 2017. 2017. How is it possible that you sold land, a dead woman contracted to sell land to someone living through some lawyers, well, George Payne, let me call his name. And now you're telling me that the daughter, the acting executrix, she was acting executrix because she didn't have papers, decides she's going to sell the land of her that belonged to her and her sister, but I think it belonged to the sister really. If I'm sure here, it was hers that was sold. But nevertheless, we won't get into all that discussion. But that was belonging to two of them. You can't sell it. You're just the executrix overseeing the estate of your mother. You don't have authority to do nothing. But hold on, I'm gonna get to that. So then you're telling me another dead woman and a conveyance that came a year later after her demise, then decide to donate money. But how did she donate the money, Mr. Caswell? When she was unalived. Well, she wasn't here. According to this death certificate, she wasn't here. So how did she donate the money, Mr. Caswell? That statement isn't accurate. And I can't have you on Marcy Week's program saying things that aren't truthful because Marcy is an upright woman. I can't have that, man. So you got to have to clear this up on the program at some point, perhaps next week, because it's Friday, you know, you got a different topic tonight. But definitely get into it. Or you could give me a call, look, I'm on the screen, and you could come on the platform, we could discuss this in details. You could bring your receipts too. But before we go to that part, let me go a little further. So she donated this to the RSPC according to you. So, you know, you're telling me now that there's a paper trail from, man, you know what? Let me skip that. Let me pause it here for a second. Yeah, let me pause it here for a second. Because I got another part of this I want to discuss. I have another part of this I want to discuss. Let me pull up Exhibit C1. Let me pull up Exhibit C1. And like I said, family, viewer discretion is advised. Viewers' discretion is advised. Mr. Caswell Franklin, with all due respect, right? I need you to clarify some things, man, because you said some stuff last night that was very disturbing to an 80-plus-year-old woman. I can't, in my right consciousness as an individual who out here for the people every day, all day, allow these things to pass like that. You got to do something about this. I'm telling you in the early, because I'm gonna share something right now that you said she was your good friend, right? You said she was your good friend, and y'all spoke every Sunday unless you didn't have a phone or whatever reason. Let me ask you a question. Was this when you call her? Well, I don't know if she had a mobile phone. I don't know if she had a mobile phone. I don't know if she had a mobile phone. My question to you is, was this the phone you were calling her on? Because what you might not know, you said she was your good friend. I don't know if you still visit her or not, but you said she was a recluse. So you seem to have an idea of how she lived. But allow me to share the Barbados tonight, the woman that you call your dear friend. And Miss Atwell, I do this out of love because I think that you were manipulated into going against your sister by people who had a different ambition and a different intention. Now, I'm not saying that you wasn't willing and able and went ahead with it. I'm saying maybe you weren't in your right mind, because anyone who, whether or not they're recluse and they're introvert and like to live on their own, that smoke this many cigarettes consistently, not just smoke this many cigarettes, but keep them as souvenirs along with everything else in the house around them. My thing is, this is an indication that there's something psychologically wrong with the individual. Family, your discretion is advised. Like I said, I don't want to do this, man, but this is the bedroom of Miss Atwell, and I'm only doing this to say one thing and one thing only. They took advantage of a woman who clearly wasn't operating with a full deck. She wasn't. She wasn't. And y'all know this, man. Guys, well, you know she wasn't all the way upstairs, man. You know this. You can't tell me that she was your good friend. Y'all talk every week. She told you everything. If she told you everything, what was the family dispute? What was her and her sister in contention about? Since she told you everything, tell Barbados, since you put it out there. By the way, you start this, because I never said none of this. I could have been put all this out. I never said a word. You came out and tried to insult an 80-plus-year-old as if she was lying about her family's estate. Her mother left it for her and her sister. And her sister decided to do something else, being beguiled by some men of influence that was around her. I ain't saying you was one of them, though, but when they talk often enough, maybe she told you about these other men. Did she ever mention George Payne to you? Yeah, man. But this is her bedroom, man. I mean, the condition is the evidence is clear. You ask the people that lived in the community, especially people who had the shop around the corner, she was a heavy rum drinker. Heavy. So what? I won't even go as far as showing you the kitchen, but I'm gonna have to show you the part of the kitchen. I won't even show you the rest of the house. Like, I'm gonna just show these two pictures. I won't even show the rest of the facility. That was rat infestation, birds infestation. To my knowledge, there was no running water, and there was feces and bags all over the place tied up. Feces, human feces and bags. How do I know this, Mr. Caswell? You want me to tell you the truth? Because the Ministry of Health this was so bad that the Ministry of Health was called in. Yes, the documents in the Ministry of Health, and I've gone to the Ministry of Health trying to get these documents, and for some reason they gone missing. Yes, all the days they came to this house and did work to clean this house as best they could to help this lady get herself to look some sort of civil way, I guess trying to cover up like she was normal. It was so bad that they decided they ain't going back, and they didn't even go back. But if you check the log books in the ministry, specifically the one in Spicestone, check the log books, man. I was told there's no entries. How is that possible? When workers from the Ministry of Health went to a residence that was called out by somebody else of concern, when the inspector came and saw this, brought in a cleaning crew to help, and it was so bad that they decided they ain't coming back. Guess what? A lot of that staff still work there. Some don't work there anymore. So somebody going to see this video and be like, yeah, I remember this house. People are going to start to come forward, Mr. Caswell, Mr. George Payne. People are going to come forward, man. My number on the screen. You can't hide this. There's no covering this up anymore. Some serious wrongs were done to this lady, and people in Barbados try to cover it up. So it's not a case of her sister come down here and because of a dispute, the acting executrix sold the property and gave the money away. But how she wasn't here at the end of the sale. The money wasn't transferred and could have been transferred to after the sale was completed based on the documents of the conveyance. That's not how it goes. If I'm not correct, somebody correct me. I'm just saying. She has to have instruments in order to do certain things. And she ain't had instruments because she transitioned. So she couldn't have instruments to do anything. She transitioned. But wait, there's more. There's more. Hold on. As if it possibly couldn't get any worse. There's more. And as if that wasn't sufficient, I would think that this was, but it wasn't. Miss Cole, wait, let me check some comments here because I missed a lot of stuff. Give me a second, family. Bear with me. Oh, man, where we at? Yes, Butterfly says she has some victory on Monday after calling on my ancestors, but still I am still sweet justice, Rastafari. We give thanks, man. We give thanks. We see you too, family. All the hope in the world. It takes a village. That's right. ISIS, we see you, we see you, we see you, we see you. Sean said he heard about it. Yes, his son was, yes, Hillary's son. Well, this situation. Sir means slave, I remain. Let me skip here. Show it to the Goddard family, the warrior part of the Goddard family, man, because, you know, all skin folk and kinfolk, man. There's far more to Sir Hilary Beckles. Check Sagicor Financial Corporation on the ICIJ. Whoa. Shots fired, man. I love that. You, Marcia as well, and others tearing up the corrupt system. I love it too. I love it too. I totally love it. But the Saudi agents out calling for reparation. Of course, they know why. It is very slow, like we'll never get it. Whilst they considered compensating the slave owning families. Now, they knew what they were doing all along. They knew that. They left our mother out for a reason. They always lead them out. They always lead them out. Real talk. That's right. It was not alleged. It's not alleged. That's right, Jackie. It's not alleged. We have the documents to prove who stole our mother's family property. Now, that's the thing right there, right? Caswell said a lot, but he didn't speak on the fact that we got the documents. It's obvious what happened. These is all government records. Like, what, like, especially this one here. Tell him one here. That one there, boy. If they, so they have to do it. Yeah, I'm going to get to it in a minute. Recluse means a form of mental health. That's right. That's right. Greetings, family. He knows more than us. Imagine that. Hello from Jacksonville, Florida. Greetings to you too, my brother. Greetings to you too. Listen, I got your message. You have to give me a call in the morning. That's the best time to give me a call. First in the morning, early as possible. 4 or 5 o'clock is good time. Okay, maybe not. 5, 6 o'clock. You take that one back. But yeah, we're doing this thing, family. The victim was the judge's son. The judge's son, exactly. It's a serious situation, man. Deals were probably made. Greetings, Regina. Greetings. Yes, you mean stolen fully. It was stolen fully. That's right. Correct. It was moms. The land belongs to moms. The land belongs to Glenda, not Ermin. So if there's an issue where you selling my property, why are you selling my land? I already decided when they first asked me in your presence to sell my property. I told him, I am not selling it. I am not selling it. So why you decide to sell my property? Then I heard about it. Of course, Caswell is going to be a family issue between the sisters because one sister wants to sell the other sister property. Why are you selling my property? Why I never asked you to do so? I never gave you permission to do so, but yet you and your unfit mind being manipulated by God knows who, living like this. Listen, let me go a little further. Hold on. I hear people say, right, that the mother left Barbados. She left Barbados and never came. The sister, rather, left Barbados and never came back. In fact, hold on. Let me. You're right to call out Caswell Franklin. I'm not calling him out. Well, Jane, look, don't get me wrong, Jane. Love to you and the family always. I am not, just for the record, I am not calling out Caswell Franklin. I'm calling him up. Not out. I'm calling him up because he's on the program nightly, representing the people, speaking about the things in the government, which really and truly, that happens every pre-election. This is, I mean, that's a norm. Information comes out. The opposition party, information comes out, not suggesting that is a DLP platform or otherwise. I don't know it to be any of the such, so don't go and say I said something, but I'm just saying, so that's good that information is coming out, yes. But don't do what you did a couple nights ago and say you for the people, because this ain't right. Let me show you how it's not right. In fact, before I say anything else, let me show you how I mean it's not right. Hold on a second. Let me show you what I mean by it is not right. It is not right. Part 2.
We also had the matter relating to the property of Violet Beckles, and we know that
Yes.
Alex was the executor of that property as
Who?
well. As far as I'm aware.
I like this right here. Now, Miss Cole did something that was classic. Y'all notice that? She said, she made a statement initially in all good faith. I respect, look, full respect to this sister right here for having the courage to speak on these matters, you know, like in the same way I speak on these matters, like Alex speaks on these matters, because outside of us, Sister Cole, as you about to find out, nobody else is talking about it in any positive and meaningful way. What they're doing is making excuses for what happened. Listen carefully, family.
Alex Mitchell.
Who did you
No,
say,
he wasn't.
Alex Mitchell?
No, he wasn't. He is an interloper.
Now, for those who don't know what an interloper is, it's first of all, it's a I had never heard the word before. Up front, I had never even heard it. I had to go to my law dictionary to see what an interloper was. And what it basically says is that it's someone who basically is meddling in somebody else's affairs that have no concern with them whatsoever. Like he just pretending to be involved in something that he ain't got no standing of law, no calling in. But that's a bit strange because, well, let me let him tell you the rest of the story.
The Violet
Is an
Beckles,
interloper? What is an interloper?
he got in there and became Violet's agent. But when Violet died, his agency died with her. But what has happened? Violet owns so much property in Barbados, and she did not know the extent of the property. I did a search on it.
Hold on a second. This is now. When I first heard what he said about Miss Stewart, I took that like, whoa, you Caswell, why you do that, man? Like, why would you do that? Why would you say the things like that? But you don't know the details. If you knew the details of the situation, why would you say that it was a family dispute? It's two sisters. Land belonged to one, not the other, and one decided to sell it to a lawyer. First of all, how she know that this man want to buy land? Because he already has the other piece on the other side. He wants that piece to build a house to sit across. He wants to amalgamate these two lots to build a mansion, a fort, really, not a mansion, a fort, because the people around that area that saw that house being built and where it was built, he built a fortress down there. That's not a regular house. I don't know what it is, underground tunnels or what. I ain't got a clue. That a different story. He wanted both lots. How did she know that he was looking to buy that lot? Who told her? Who told Miss Atwell, who is a recluse, that a white man want to buy the property down there? How she know that? Was it an ad in the paper? Because she got a lot of newspapers in the house. Did she see an ad in the paper? Or did somebody tell her and advise her to sell it and arrange everything? But Caswell, as far as Miss Val, she owned a lot of property. Then he said he did a research on it.
Because when I was personal assistant to David Simmons.
Personal assistant to David Simmons. Listen to these names, family. These names are very important.
I was given the guy who was a senator that was blind, I can't remember his name now. He sent her to see me. And when I did the investigation, she had 33 lots in Valgap, KFL that were stolen by people who actually were living on the properties and then went to court behind her back and get adverse possession said over there for 10 years. And
so that's the first crime. Folks that were living on these lots for more than 10 years, although I thought the law was 16, but I don't know. But he said 10, maybe I don't know, that claim it as adverse possession. She's an aged woman. I don't know how they got there in the first place, but let me let that. 32 lots. 32.
Then she had land in Sunset Crest that she had rented to a man called Laforette.
Now land in Sunset Crest that was rented. So this was actually a contract.
But he is. I understand that he's the guy who built the Sunset Crest Resort down there. He rented four parcels of land from her and leased them.
So he rented land from her, but he leased them out elsewhere.
For 25 years. When the lease ran out, they never reverted the person who actually owned them. It wasn't Violet at the time. It was Beatrice Evangeline Henry. She willed her property to Violet because she was a madam. She had a brothel and she used to have ready cash. So every time the courts were selling up property, she would go and buy it. She had land in St. Andrew, all over Bridgetown. Those got Cave Hill, Bush Hall, you name it. She has so much land. And when she died, well, before she died, she made a will and left everything for Violet. She gave Sleepy Smith a chair.
Forget the chair. I didn't even discuss the chair. She gave everything. Do you know, see, family, the word everything is pretty straightforward. She gave everything to this particular woman. For whatever reason, she chose her. She chose her. She gave it all to her. All. And he's declaring this. So far, we have a paper trail.
Well, he wanted the chair that she had. He made the will himself. He was a barrister and not used to making wills. And he didn't do a good job. So he did not identify the specific properties that Violet was supposed to get. But what happened? Before
Let me let that slide.
Before she died, she gave Violet all the title deeds.
That's the part I want. Before she transitioned, she said, Violet, listen, I got this stack right here. It's a whole stack. These are all the title deeds to all the properties I own. You hold on to these. I gonna give this all to you. You've been a good woman to me. I love you. For whatever reason, God's saying in my life, I pass this on to you. Take care of you and your family. Go do, take care of yourself and your family.
And Violet took the title deeds and gave.
Now listen to this carefully. Let me go back here a little bit. I want y'all to listen to this part very, very carefully. Because Mr. Caswell, when you watch this, and I'm sure you'll want to watch this, if I were you, I would. Because this right here is what caused me to, like Corey Lane the other night, he got any calls for the fire station. He could have left it there, but he went on to tell us, oh yeah, all my fires, I get calls first. But that made me think deeper. What you do right here, Caswell, I need you to explain this to Barbados, because again, you on a program that's going viral. The world is watching this, man. People take you serious. People believe everything coming out of your mouth. You need to clear this up, Mr. Caswell. Right here, this part right here.
Before she died, she gave Violet all the title deeds. And Violet took the title deeds and gave them to a lawyer. And the lawyer said he can't find them. And true, he ain't got them.
But hold on. Listen, hold on. I'm gonna say this again.
Before she died, she gave Violet all the title deeds. And Violet took the title deeds and gave them to a lawyer. And the lawyer said he can't find them. That they aren't true, he ain't got them. And one of those lawyers' friends ended up owning one of the houses in Rockley. I was at that house. Alex Mitchell.
Okay.
Violet took the title deeds and gave them to a lawyer. And the lawyer said he can't find them. That they aren't true, he ain't got them.
But that's not true. He doesn't have them. In fact,
and one of those lawyers' friends ended up owning one of the houses in Rockley.
One of those lawyers' friends. So wait a minute, Mr. Caswell. This is where now my flag went up. I know Marcia was probably scratching her head the same time thinking the same thing, because like I said, she's wise. So she gave them to a lawyer. Mr. Caswell, why you ain't called the lawyer name? I mean, you seem to have inside track on all this. For some reason, you seem to be present in all these crimes. Well, aware, rather, of all these crimes. In fact, you are on the scene of all these crimes. Interestingly enough, Mr. Caswell, you're involved with... So she gave them to a lawyer. She gave all of them to a lawyer. Alex Mitchell, you on the program, Alex Mitchell? Are you on here tonight? If you on here, let me know, man. Who is the lawyer that Violet gave all those title deeds to? Please type the name up. I don't recall it offhand. I don't want to call the name wrong. We in the cyber crime bill era, so you gotta get things straight. Somebody asked, but the poor woman died in squalor. How could he have been her good friend? I don't know how he said he was a good friend. Maybe he never visited her, because I don't know if he went to that house here living like that and not do something. I mean, the other photographs that I have paints a different picture. And like I said, the Ministry of Health was called in. That's how bad it was. So the question is, how did the RSPCA get the land into Mr. Wright's hand? Listen, don't even start me on that. This is very disturbing, huh? Yeah, but I ain't even get to the other part yet. I got more exhibits, man. I ain't get there yet. They said, wow, this is a home of the recluse that was frequently visited. Well, he said he called on the phone. I can give him, he said he called. I don't know if he actually visited her, so I won't say that. But where did the visitors sit? You should see the rest of the house. I show you all the best pictures. You should see the others. I mean, like I said, feces in plastic bags all over, because my understanding was there was no running water. She wasn't in her right mind. Of course, they knew that. In fact, let me go a little further. They knew that she wasn't in her right mind. And some other family members tried to hustle her off to some lawyer sometime in November of 2016 on Independence Day. Now, let me ask you all a question. Yeah, I going to talk it, man. I got it. Before I get back, let me say this, family. Certain people took this lady out of her house and whistled her over to an attorney's office on Independence Day. Tell me which law office is open on November the 30th in 2016 to get her to write and rewrite and refashion some documents to put them into her will on Independence Day. And a lawyer, if he was worth his weight in salt, could see that something wrong with this. Never asked for a doctor's certificate to verify that she was in her right mind. But we knew she was not in her right mind. It's obvious. I mean, these pictures. Anyhow, let me go a little further. He said she was a hoarder. Nah, she was beyond that. She was more than that, man. Mr. George Walton Payne was her personal and legal representative and changed her, well, KMFT. I can't pronounce that word. This might be one of those phonetic words. I'm not sure. Mr. Caswell, are you aware, do you know who Mr. George Walton Payne is? And if so, do you have a relationship with Mr. George Payne? And if so, what is the nature of your relationship with him? Especially with regards to Miss Atwell, because if she was your personal friend, I'm sure she would have mentioned who was her personal legal representative. His name is on all of her documents, including, but not limited to, listen to this, family, including, but not limited to, the document that went into Town Country to subdivide the property, the estate, that she still didn't have papers for. And because she didn't have the property at the time her mother was alive, they tried to do this. And when the officer went to the mother's house, the mother said, I never gave anybody, my daughter, anybody, any permission to subdivide my land. I don't know nothing about the subdividing of land. From when the mother was alive, they were trying to get this property from this family. Miss Atwell, the daughter. Of course, there got to be an issue with her and her sister. She tried to defraud her own mother on many occasions. So of course, his sister gonna have to say something, but nobody want to talk the truth, right? Trying to cover up. They say after Glenn, wait, Barry, listen, Barry, we're getting on, Barry. Why see you in a minute, big man? I give thanks to all the, you know what I mean, the support. You gotta shout me, man. How the family? Otherwise, give me a shout, man. Yeah, they're heartless, man. They're heartless. Greetings. Of course, they knew she wasn't well, man. On the job, but here nonetheless, we're getting on, family. Man, tonight is the night, man. Tonight we're gonna decide what's going on, family. Tonight is the night. Tonight is the night. And wait, hold on. These comments so far, oh man. I'm trying to keep up. You see that? After the young lady from that, they were trying to do all that injustice to putting her in harm's way, mental institution. Listen, she should have been in the institution a long time. A long time. But they had plans for the land. So they were watching her, planning and plotting. Planning and plotting. They're terrorists. Of course. Good, call him up. Yeah, we calling him up, man. We ain't about putting people out there. We looking to get it right. We want the facts politically incorrect. We want it correct. If I'm not correct, correct me, man. Jackie, please have some discretion. The kids are watching. The children of our spring are watching. Mr. Franklin, the butterfly, you too. I don't know, man. He's mix up, tricks up. His spirit keeps coming at them. Listen, Draxall, 30,000. Them, look, the ancestors rising family. We invoking that tonight. He said he done a search. He on so much yet. We get that in a minute. Hold on, don't get ahead of me. I'm looking for Alex Mitchell, man. Where's Alex, man? There's so much comments on here. I can't even keep up. Devil Acapta is on, huh? Okay, hold on. I see you, Alex. I knew Violet knew. That is how I learned from Violet. Violet knew to tell Fraud Squad, Mark White. She gave him 18 pages she signed of a criminal investigation started by PM David. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Wait. You're telling me that you're telling me that Violet went to the fraud. Alex, you're telling me that Violet went to the Fraud Squad and gave an 18-page sign for a criminal investigation by MP David. Hold on. Sunset Crest, 5 lots. One about Alex, right? Alex's story has never changed. Like, he has been consistent with this, and he knows it from the top to the back of his hand. $200 plantations and other lots across Barbados. Where went to Richard Cheltenham for assets after probate. Wait a minute. So Richard Cheltenham is the unmentioned lawyer that the documents were given to? Is that what you're saying? Is my question. Is Richard Cheltenham the lawyer that was unmentioned by Mr. Caswell? The lawyer, he said he should get into a lawyer, but he ain't got them. Other lawyers, well, if he ain't got them, what if they were given to him, then what did he do with them? Isa said, I thought Violet was the niece of Beatrice Henry. Question, Mr. Caswell. You said she was running a brothel, huh? Interesting. I don't even know if that was necessary to mention, but you mentioned it for a reason, right? Whatever it was, she had access to cash. She had access to finances. How she got it, you know? Who was the lawyer? The lawyer looks to be Mr. Cheltenham. Funny how lawyers, aka lawyers, have no names. Well, Alex called a name. He said Richard Cheltenham, QC, PhD lawyer. Well, Mr. Cheltenham, if you're watching, are you familiar with the name Violet Beckles? And if so, did she give you at some point title deeds to be asset before probate? Is a question. My number's on the screen. Please well, you probably recognize me when you see me, quite frankly. Please free to give me a call. You're more than welcome to come on the program so we can have a conversation and just get some clarity on some stuff. For the sake of the people of the nation, we keep talking about one Barbados. Well, this is how we're going to get to one Barbados. We got to deal with this thing, man. The lawyer is a former president. President of what exactly, ISIS? The question is, but why didn't he speak up before now? Whoa, hold on a minute. If this admission confession wasn't to denounce Alex Mitchell as an interloper, quote unquote, would we have ever heard this amount from him? This is again, Caswell could call me. He know my number. He come on the program. We could even do a special program on the day here in on Mars. We do a Tuesday night program then. Wait, I don't know if they're on Tuesday. They might be on Tuesday. I'm really not sure. The lawyers in question, Barbados is, listen, man. Chief Justice. Wait, the lawyer in question is now Chief Justice. Wait, Sheldon Hart is now the Chief Justice, and he is tied to Millennium Heights Estate. I mean, what are they telling me at all, though? Yet charge the estate for maintenance. Charge the estate for maintenance. I tell you. All I could do is shake my head. Listen, you can't, all that is necessary for evil to flourish is that good people do nothing. In order for this nation called Barbados to grow, we got to prune it. We got to prune it. In order for us to grow, righteousness exalts a nation, is what we're dealing with. Righteousness exalts a nation. If the nation of Barbados, the people here, both original, indigenous, and those that were brought over, and those that birthed right here on the soil of this land, in order for this nation to be righteous and grow, we got to deal with these matters. Good night to you, Sharon. Greetings, family. Greetings. 50 years independence to be correct, please. No one is above the law. Listen, Draxhall claimed he inherited the estate of his family. The estate of Draxhall, he claimed he inherited it. But my thing is, he would got to inherit the crime as well. The crime that the family commit. Since you so boldly claiming you inherit that, he got to inherit the crime. That's why I'm saying we not asking Mr. Draxhall to give up the land, and we not paying him $8 million per 50 acres. Do the math, he got 600, roughly 650, let's round it off. That's how much? 12, 13. That's over $100 million on the Meccan sport, man. Meccan sport, man. Ooh-wee. They said George Spain working with the dead. They haven't approached the landowners with their version of what was supposed to have happened. So that's the thing. Who signed the papers on that deed of the dead person? Dirty ink, right? Listen. The conveyance on this here, man, it's deep, Alex. I'm telling you, it's deep. There are plans for all the land. That's why Miss Cole is asking, Barbados for sale. Wow. I love it. My people waking up, family. We not sleeping. Tonight. Listen, phones in Barbados gonna ring tonight, all across Barbados. I'm telling you, man. If she was in an institution, they couldn't have completed the fraud. Of course, so they had to keep her out and try to make it look like, imagine, first of all, how did the inspectors know to go to this house? What made the inspectors go to this house? Of all the houses in the area, why they chose this house? I mean, because they would have had this. She didn't now start doing this. They went and saw this. They tried to clean up the place, man. They try to clean up the place. Let me give you another jewel. I can tell that one in a minute. I ain't get that one yet. Stay tuned for that one. Y'all don't want to miss a Caswell. I got it. I'm gonna tell you what it is in a minute, because you try to make it seem like the sister wasn't coming back here. She was coming back to Barbados periodically. She has a whole family in England. She has her business going on there. She's doing what she's doing. She can travel back and forth. Mr. Draxhall never came back here to the plantation, yet he got his estate. So what are you saying? But hold on, I'm gonna let you finish what you're saying. Draxhall, did he sell any to Beatrice Henry? Wait, hold on a minute. Alex, that's a good question. You gotta check your documents and see what's going on, because right now, as far as I'm concerned, you gotta listen. Alex, listen. Go through your documents, Alex. If you find any document with Draxhall on it, with Beatrice Henry name on it, give me a call. Because we going up there and evict everybody on that property. Everybody. because he doesn't own it. I don't know why we keep perpetuating this lie about he owned Draxall. He does not own Draxall. The only thing he owns is what their family stole from the people of this nation that was passed on to him through the wealth. The land does not belong to him. That land is drenched in the blood of all those who perished on it wrongfully at the hand of his family. Guess what? They forfeit the right to own that property. He don't own that. If I was him, he should have walked away from that a long time ago. His father should have walked, but nah, they holding on to it because they are proud. They proud of the legacy. Uninterrupted history. And we both here pretending. Nah. In fact, let me let you finish. Say what you're saying, because I think right here you're kind of incriminating yourself, Caswell, but I'm gonna let you tell it.
I was at that house. Alex Mitchell pushed the people out of the house and he moved into it because he wasn't operating on behalf of Violet Beckles. But Violet Beckles was a maid at the hospital. She was illiterate. So she could not read the documents to the extent, and they stole Violet's property. As a matter of fact, the land...
Did Caswell just admit they stole Violet's property? Hold on, he ain't just said that. Because when you said they, Caswell, who are the they that you seem to be referring to is my question. My question. Inquiring minds want to know.
Of Violet Beckles. But Violet Beckles was a maid at the hospital. She was illiterate. So she could not read the documents to the extent, and they stole Violet's property. As a matter of fact, the land that comes through Cave Hill, you know, the road that comes from Warren down to Hanks Hill, that passed through her property.
Hey, hold on a minute. From Warrens to Hines Hill, you mean the land that the government cut that highway through? You referring to that line right there? Is what you referring to? Really? Really?
And the government paid a person called Percival Henry for that property. So they claim on the records of the Ministry of Housing that they paid Percival Henry. But Percival Henry does not exist on the electoral rolls, and he never paid national insurance. So somebody make up a name and get money for that property that the government acquired to build that road. It is a whole nasty scam. And nobody has done anything about it. Violet had children who, well, her son.
Before you go there, let me go back real quick.
Somebody make up a name and get money for that property that the government acquired to build that.
You're telling me that someone just gave the government a fake name and the government gave them a real check? Really now? Really? So my question is, who understand the conspiracy here? Because somebody had to come in and claim the check. And if the check, no, let me show it, okay, as well, he was an intelligent man again. So even if it was a fake name, the government don't pay out cash. Just pay out check. So now you're implicating that, and that the kind of money that check would have been worth would have to be deposited in a bank or signed over to somebody. But if you sign over somebody to the check, when you carry the check, you got to carry the body ID too. So what you're suggesting here is that there is a conspiracy here by people in the national insurance, well, the ID department, to give the body a fake ID. Then they have documents to open a fake bank account. So then the question now is, that name would have to be still in the accounts at the bank. So we need to identify which bank this transaction happened to, and then go back to the government office. Who would have written the check? Who signed the check? Because, I mean, we can assume that they don't know, but would they not have to bring some sort of proof that they own the property? Now, it's not going to say that the body had that name, claimed the property, and got a check in their name, but you can't get a check to name that different to the documents. So you're saying that the documents were then forged then too? If that's the case, that document will have to be on the record, because You're now telling Barbados that it was a fraud. If it was a fraud, Caswell, it means that that document with the gentleman's name you just called would have to be inside the same place, the land registry department will have to have the document with that individual's name on it. Well, that name on it for the record, because the government ain't paying the money to nobody who ain't got no assets and probate documents. So you get what he's saying? This involves a lot of people, because in order to get, in fact, the document's supposed to have on the court stamps and whatnot to prove its authenticity. So that's the person who went and forged stamps as well. It means that somebody in the courtroom now also involved in this thing. This thing deep, man. This thing got to be this. You say, hold on, the words you used was nasty. You said it was a nasty situation.
Bro, it's a whole nasty scam.
A nasty scam involving clearly a lot of people. And the funny thing is, nobody ain't saying a word, but you now saying for the first time on the record, because I never even knew you knew all this information. You got me beat bad. I've known Alex for over a decade. He been going back and forth. Well, why you ain't helping Alex?
And nobody has done anything about it.
That's not true, Caswell. You said you went to the house where Alex was however long ago. Alex been fighting this for as long as I've known Alex. I would admit he's a bit overzealous, but that's his passion. Maybe his frustration. I could fully understand though. But you got all this information. Did you tell this information to Alex?
Violet had children who, well, her son, who was, when her agent, executor, he died, and she left with a daughter who was challenged. And Alex moved in, claiming to be, he went and introduced himself to Violet. I know Alex well. And now he's walking with blessing that it's his property and all kinds of stuff. He doesn't own a yard, a square foot, a square inch of that property. He was just the he was just the agent for Violet when she was alive. If you are an agent and the principal dies, the agency dies.
Somebody's asking a question though on this. And then, oh boy, I don't know how much more. We don't want to go too much into this because the show is not really about Alex Mitchell.
I just want to put up 1 or 2 comments. Isis asked the question. So to Isis, by the way, warrior spirit. What about the last will of Violet Beckles that named warrior Alex Mitchell and her son, deceased Desmond, as executors in the will? What about that, Mr. Caswell? Is a question being asked? And what was his response?
But somebody's saying, what about the will of Violet Beckles that named Alex Mitchell and her son, deceased Desmond, as executors in the will?
And the executor does not own the property.
I want you all to listen to this carefully, because remember what he said earlier. Hold on, let me just make a note here. Remember what he said earlier about the dispute, a family dispute between 2 sisters. Not big sort of people, there's 2 people. One trying to sell land that she has no right to sell, and the other one is saying to her, I'm not selling it to nobody. We're going to keep this in the family. Why are you selling land that don't even concern you? But she is labeled as the executrix, but she's the acting executrix because she doesn't have the asset and probate. She doesn't have the authority vested into her by the court to even have the authority to sell anything at that point. She's just the acting executrix, doesn't have no authority. But remember, he said she sold it, then gave the money away, although she was already passed away. I don't know how he got to that conclusion, but I won't even touch that too much. But listen to what Mr. Franklin, see, this is the reason why I am having this conversation. This was not my plan for the night, but Mr. Franklin, I'm gonna help you. Listen, you're gonna have to come on the program, man.
Alex claims to own the property. I do not know.
These Desmond as executors in the will.
Listen carefully to what Mr. Franklin is about to say. And this is the contradiction that, as far as I'm concerned, he shot himself in the leg, a major artery, with this next statement. Because what he's about to say is the facts. Perhaps this is the facts he was referring to earlier. Because whatever else he said previously wasn't facts. It wasn't facts. So listen to the facts of the matter here now.
And the executor does not own the property.
An executor does not own the property.
Alex claims to own the property. I do not know Violet's will. Violet made that will after I came in contact with her because
I do not know about the will. But wait a minute. You just said Alex don't own nothing. You just said, Mr. Franklin, this is my look, this is why family, this is why we as a people, right? Have to have these kind of, discussions, man. You just told the whole of Barbados, insult the integrity, not the honor, because Alex's honor is intact. But you try to insult his integrity to suggest to Barbados that man who has a political interest in uplifting Barbados, Bajan Free Party, you just told Barbados that he doesn't own anything, not one iota, whatever you said. And people believe in you. You got a whole union of how many thousands of people that follow you and everything you do, and they believe in you, Mr. Franklin. How you gonna come on Marcia Week's program and make such statements like this when the truth is you liable to let people think that Alex is a flipping nutcase? When the truth is Miss Atwell is the nutcase, clearly. Your good friend. I can't believe you.
When I spoke to Violet, I went to her house. I suggested that
You suggested. Did you suggest to Miss Atwell too, Caswell?
she get a will.
Did you suggest to Miss Atwell that she do, you know what, go sell that property and donate money to RSPCA? Don't mind your sister. Because you speak of Miss Stewart as if you know her. You speak as if you know her, that you ever had a conversation with Stewart to know whether or not her sister was speaking the truth. And you on Marcia Week's program, a good woman doing the best for the people that she could uplift. And you gonna make statements about they talking nonsense. They about here doing what? They don't believe them. And you just rallying with one side of this story with a woman that you claim was your friend that was living as a recluse, that was living like she was sick in her head, man, for the world to see. If I show the rest of the pictures, trust me, Barbados can come to a judgment tonight of you. And I don't want that to be the case. I want you to clear this up, though, for your union and for everyone that follows you, because people believe in you, man. But what you say right next here is exactly why you had to come on here tonight.
I don't know that she actually acted upon my suggestion.
You said it again. I didn't know that she acted on my suggestion. Well, she did. And what you said about Alex then isn't accurate and truthful.
No, I'm hearing that Alex was executor.
No, you hearing it. When you first with Alex didn't tell you that.
An executor, warrior Alex Mitchell, nothing. If he was named as executor is supposed to take the property, man, and transfer it to who will say. So if it says that Heather Morrison was supposed to get property, the executor would then, after he get letters testamentary from the court, that will give him the authority to distribute the estate. But that doesn't mean he will take the estate unto himself.
Let me play that again. After you get letters, testimony for the estate, as executor, your role is then to distribute it. Did Miss Atwell get letters from the court and testimony? Did she get letters from the court so that she could fulfill her duties as executrix and then divide the land between herself and her sister? Because that's what the will said. That's what the mothers, in fact, that's what the will said. The mother's will stated, Marie Stewart. I have a copy of the will here, Mr. Caswell. The land is to be equally divided amongst them. But if she didn't have no letters and she have nothing from the court indicating that she has authority, how can a lawyer then sell property of a woman that's deceased? That's why the mother's name is on the same documents, because she didn't have any authority. How is it possible then what you are suggesting is that this lawyer, Mr. Payne, committed fraud by what you said, by virtue of what you said? You said she told you everything. She sold it and gave it away. But if she sold it, got paid and gave the money away, then the lawyer who did that sale committed fraud. You just admit that, Mr. George Payne. You just implicate, rather. Let me use my words. Let me choose my words delicate, because the time they got a cybercrime bill. By the way, show it to Richard, by the way. Salute you, General. I give thanks for the word sound. I give thanks. Let me choose my words carefully. Let me speak with clarity and accuracy. Are you suggesting in a form of question? I'm asking a question, not making any statements. I recant that. Are you suggesting, Mr. Caswell, that the lawyer whose name is on the document that's listed as Mr. George Walton Plain committed a fraud when he sold that land, knowing that Ms. Atwell did not have authorization from the courts or anything to support that to do so? By your statement that she sold it and gave the money away because she told you everything? Are you suggesting that that's what happened? Because according to you, the executrix doesn't own the property and therefore cannot call and claim it as their own.
After he get letters testamentary from the court that will give him the authority to distribute the estate. But that doesn't mean he will take the estate unto himself.
Well, if he's labeled as executrix in the will, and there's two individuals on that will, and since you never saw the will, how do you know that she did not leave Alex, even if he's the executrix? How do you know, Mr. Franklin, that he doesn't inherit part of that estate? According to you, you never saw the will. Your Honor, please instruct the witness to answer the question. How can you make a claim, a statement so bold to Barbados, insulting the character and integrity, not the honor, of Mr. Alex Mitchell, whether that is his handle or otherwise known as? How is it possible then that you can make those statements so bold on such a beautiful platform that was all about the people, for the people, by the people, before you was even anywhere on the platform? Because I remember calling you to be on my platform, not once, but twice. I remember what you said. I didn't forget, but we don't get into that right now. How could you say that about Alex when you just admit that you didn't know she followed, you didn't know this and you didn't know that? But if you don't know Mr. Caswell, why would you tell Barbados that this man, in fact?
Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Okay,
Thank you.
Let me I'm not even going into anything else on this because some other stuff was said further on. I ain't even going no further. I ain't even going no further. Jane, we do have a call-in program. The number on the screen, Jane. All you gotta do is call. If you want to come in the studio, Jane, what time is it now? It's almost an hour, 2 hours been on here. That wasn't the plan. But Jane, hold on a minute. Hold on, wait. Let me wait. If you have something to say pertaining to what was discussed tonight, the link to the platform is in the comments. Feel free to click on it. If anybody has something to say, speak now or forever hold your peace. Hold your peace, man. Do a program you can call in. Jen, in the comments, both on WhatsApp, call the number on WhatsApp if you call from overseas, if you don't want to plug into the studio. You don't want to show your face, you don't have to. But the number is on the screen and the link to the studio is there as well. Just click on it. It works better on a Chrome platform. Follow the instructions and come on in. It's a virtual studio. Station Sergeant got 40 pages signed, about over 5 pounds of papers. Check on most of the beachfront property in Hastings. Don't even start me on this, man. We don't have no access to the beach. It took me a while to get access to the beach in order to see this same property, this beachfront property. You can't see it from the road. So I went to the beach. I went to the beach side. And guess what? That is a whole different conversation trying to get to that side to even see the house from that side. If you want to see this place here, geez, boy, look. Little private beach. Look, family, look. These lawyers, right, and their associates is part of the problem. A major part of the problem. Miss Cole, the fight is not with the people, it's with the lawyers, man. And lawyers know who the lawyers are, that they know that ain't no good. But a lot of them can't say a word because they're scared. Fear is a serious thing, man. I get it. Nobody want to mess up the bar association. Nobody want to get whitelisted. You know what I mean? She said, Jane want all of us to get arrested and charged. Arrested and charged by who, for what? By who and for what? We're not dealing with that, family. We need a program with George Payne, Richard Cheltenham, Caswell, and David Simmons, and have it as a call-in program. I agree. I would like to get all these individuals on my program. If you don't want to come on my program, call Marcia. Caswell is already on Marcia. Caswell, I'm sure, knows every name on the screen right here. Caswell, can you arrange for Marcia Weeks to have a conversation with Mr. David Simmons, yourself, Richard Cheltenham, and Mr. George Payne? Can you arrange that, Mr. Caswell? I would definitely tune in for that. I wouldn't call him with any questions. I will, I am sure the viewing audience of Barbados have sufficient questions for you all to get clarity on these matters. Because I think that there's some questions that you are now being implicated in, Mr. Franklin, that is not looking good. And the fact that you want to come out here and speak on Alex Mitchell, like, okay, I get it. Alex is intense. A lot of people can't deal with Alex. I get it. I get it. I ain't got no problem with Alex. I understand Alex. It's called passion. I got a will that has my name in it and on it, and y'all playing around about this land was stolen, but everybody know the land is stolen, but like you said, nobody's doing nothing. Well, Caswell, why don't you do something? You say you did the research. You say you did the research, have all the information. Why then don't you do something? You on Marcy Week's program every week, multiple days. Why is it all of a sudden, outside of the fact that you try to belittle Alex and insult his integrity, as if he's nothing and doesn't own one iota, whatever, to then turn around and admit that you didn't even know she had a will, that he was even mentioned in a will? Come on, man. You need to recant that. You need to fix that, man. And by the way, these nameless people that you not naming, see right there? See right there? You need to be careful, Caswell, because if they know you know all this information, I don't know, because you on the program giving up stuff every week, but for some reason you ain't giving up certain things. Don't make me put you in the same boat as Ralph Thorne, because don't let me do that, because I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, the people in Barbadians, listen, see, the problem with the political class in Barbados, or the educated class, or the, why nobody know to call them? We ain't got racism in Barbados, we got classism, you see? The problem is they think that the old Barbados is still the new Barbados, although the new Barbados ain't the old Barbados. A lot of folks traveled abroad, came back home, that think differently, thinking on a regional, international level. The games y'all played and the tricks y'all did with people, admit that Beatrix, Miss Violet Beckles, pardon me, wasn't literate. She was illiterate, you said, and worked as a maid in the hospital. What that mean? That mean that y'all realized that she couldn't read and decided to take your documents. But don't worry, we're going to deal with this for you. How did National Housing get all that land? When was the National Housing started? And let's correlate that to when Mr. Cheltenham allegedly got these documents. Asking a friend for a friend. And Mr. Caswell, do you know who the lawyer is that she gave the letters to? And if so, was it Mr. Cheltenham? And if so, can you come out and say that? Let's at least clarify that part. And the other lawyers, that the one that stole the one from him, how did you know that somebody, how you know who stole what from who, but you ain't know who stole it or who he stole it from? I like this question. Do a check and see just how much land is owned by lawyers in Barbados, especially the older lawyers. Wonderful question. In fact, Black Lion Security, get on that. Get on that. You know what I love about Black Lion Security? That is so spiritual, right? It ain't a physical entity, There are people that work in every department of government. Every single department of government. So the information is just pop up, it just fall off. These that are the minivan drivers, they drive kind of. So when they hit that roundabout, so they just fly to the window. You've got mail. Yeah, that's right. We see what's going on, man. But telling the truth and calling the names of criminals, they want to create a bill now to lock you up. But telling the truth and calling the names of criminals, they want to create a law. Listen, family, that's how you know they're lawless. They're lawless. They want to create a law that stop you from telling the truth and calling the names of criminals. Imagine that. Anybody stole Draxall property? Not an inch of it. Them can't touch that. Mr. Draxall is he's old guard too. But the problem with the old guard is that they operating under the order of Pisces. Unfortunately, we under the new management of Aquarius, and the universal order is what keep us and sustain us. That's why we have the energy, the clarity, and the reality to bring this to you frequently. Don't let them try to tell you nothing different. That time gone. It gone. They don't have a foot to stand on. And if we prop them up any further, trust me, they're going to try to collapse us. Nah, we ain't propping it up. We ain't propping it. London Bridge is falling down. Falling down. Funny, he knows Alex Mitchell's name, but no Richard Cheltenham. I thought that was interesting too. Alex Mitchell, what? Mr. Caswell, you got some answers for the people, man. And if nobody else ain't got the testicular fortitude to answer them questions, know that the ancestors ask you them questions tonight. I can't keep up with this, man. Let me see how much interesting Violet Beckers. That Violet Beckers reside in White Park Road, and the office building of Richard Cheltenham Law Office in the said White Park Road. Let Richard explain that, where he got the title deeds for Carlton House. Well, that's an interesting question there, young lady. When was that built? When was that established? This is it. Look, the plot thickens, man. A few years ago, I saw a list of lawyers being named as corrupt lawyers in Barbados, and you believe one of those lawyers is in the Senate in 2024, and our dead PM Thompson is one on the list. Aye. Nah, he wasn't insulting. It wasn't an insult because I mean I said that, and let me pull that back. He wasn't insulting Alex. Because what Mr. Franklin did was open up a whole Pandora's box. And I hope he realized, and we thank him for doing so. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because I would not have wanted to share the pictures of Miss Ancestral dwelling. I would not feel proud of that. But if you go and try to make it seem that the living sister is the problem and has no right, and there was a dispute, and she told you everything, but she had no standing in law. She had you should have known that she had no probate. She don't have anything. She don't have anything. Man. Government acquired. He is smoke screen and corrupt mirror. Listen, let me say this, right? Alongside, hold on. What's the guy's name, man? Oh, man, ain't gonna come to me. Let the ancestors give it to me. I ain't gonna even think about it. Somebody said, shows like this are needed. I would like you to tackle the subject of probation of bills. Well, guess what? We've discussed this recently with one or two individuals, and I do want to bring an attorney on here more frequently, like you said, to call so that people can call in and ask questions and therefore get some direction, or at least schedule a private consultation to go from there, because it's about doing right. And there are some good lawyers, don't get me wrong. I'm not painting the picture with one brush. There are a lot of good people in Barbados doing what is right by the people and for the people all day long. And I've been given assistance on many levels. I want to shout out all the good people doing good works, especially my new friend that in school putting in work. I can't wait till she get things done and get things done because yeah, it's a new day, man. It's in the air. It's a new day, man. It's a new day. Caswell know way more than Bajans think he didn't know, as he was the personal assistant to the then AG David Simmons. Personal assistants, of course he got to know a lot. He may even got copies of files he might have kept for a rainy day. You never know. What was the name of the bank on the check? Yeah. Yeah. That's the question everybody want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. I mean, that ain't hard to find, you know, because Barbados is such a place, man, I'm telling you. Facts, man. Monies could have been diverted with the explanation because the alibi to cover up the siphoning of laundering of the funds. Seriously, man. Of course, it's been going on for a long time, but guess what? People frightened. But guess what? Them days is gone, Jane. Them days gone. The government paid a lot of people by way of UDC land, laundering over 68 million. It's a corruption so rampant in Barbados among the law fraternity. Listen, the lawyers was the problem from the jump. They're the ones that, you think politicians is write bills? You think it's the lawyers that write the penny bills? Westminster, Queen's councils. Understand this thing, yeah? No one has done anything about it. Yeah, you're right to laugh. Alex over here all the time putting in work, and we still playing around. Jaja gave us victory. Call on the ancestors tonight. Look, the answer's coming, man. They will lock you up for challenging them with the truth. Let me say this here too. I'm glad you said that, Jane. He knows everything but nothing. Let me say this, family. Okay, and these lawyers sleep at night. I mean, they sleep at night. It's called brandy. Oh, you mean how they sleep? It's called brandy, whiskey. I don't know if they drink rum, because that might be for the, the poor man. They must want fancy stuff, man. Brandy and cognac. Them kind of names, man. Don't want doing a rum. Rum for these small man. Yet he didn't say that for Ermin. Of course, when the executrix doesn't own the property, he didn't say a word. He can't say a word because he would have known she didn't have any letters. She didn't have no letters. She didn't have anything, according to documents. In fact, the money came after she passed away. I didn't know how she donated money she ain't even had access to, but anyhow, you won't touch that. I'm going to say one more thing, though. I got to say this, man. That's right. It's called the criminal justice system, not the people's justice system or Barbados justice system. It's the criminal justice system. It's ran by criminals, man. If Alex and Dennis are executors, how did the land get sold? This is a good question. Not only that, he said she owns so much land all across Barbados. Okay, where is the land now? Alex been asking questions for a long time. In fact, I presented a check he gave Mr. Ralph Torn to investigate this and take it to court back in 2004. It's 2004, right, Alex? I don't want to get your dates wrong. A check was presented to Mr. Ralph Torn. I gave you the check on one of my previous programs. Y'all could go back and look at it. Go back and look at it. We discussed this already. Mr. Ralph Torn got a check from Alex Mitchell. He got a check from Alex Mitchell with this same matter. So where is the land, Mr. Caswell? The land don't disappear. In fact, let me go further. Since you did a search and you found all the land that she owned, can you list that? Can you put a list up for us? Can you provide Alex with a list of all the land to verify that he's not according to you, he has no standing, although you just found out that she had a will and that he's in the will? How comes you ain't find out one, Caswell? Anyhow, I call your name too much tonight, man. I ain't getting that much forward. That's what I'm going to tell you. To my understanding, right, it is alleged that they said that Jackie nor her mother can't return to Barbados, otherwise they will be arrested. because apparently a few names that were mentioned, that they mentioned in pursuit of their justice, some individuals are claiming if you come out to Barbados, I'm going to have you arrested for, or I'm going to try to sue you for interrupting a sale, or Jackie, help me with this one when you get a chance. No? They want to sue mom. Some lawyer in Barbados said that he's going to sue the 80-plus-year-old woman because she spoke about her property being sold by her sister, who is a recluse, aka not in her right mind, clearly that was being manipulated by men of suit and tie who had different ambitions. Of course, she's fighting for the rights of her sister. Let me give you all another fact. So they said that mom can't come out to Barbados otherwise. Mom, I'm telling you, right? If you ever was to, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Cybercrime bill. If this is so, Mr. Caswell, can you tell us how would this become possible that a lawyer could try to sue or charge someone 80-plus-year-old for speaking about their property that was sold in clearly what appears at this point to be fraud? It appears to be fraud. I mean, the evidence points to such. You admitted that Miss Ermin Atwell told you everything, that she sold the property, the beachfront property, for almost $3 million and then gave the money to the RSPCA. You said that, which suggests if she didn't have any letters from the court that the lawyer faked documents to sell, because the executrix, even if she did have letters from the court, doesn't own the land in order to sell it. Even if she had letters, Mr. Caswell, she didn't have the authority to sell it. So how is it that she sold the property? Can you tell Barbados, the same way you told us about this matter and Alex matter, can you tell Barbados how this is possible? And can you then identify it as fraud? And therefore, can you call the lawyers' names in this situation for the same way you call Alex's name, the same way you call Jackie's name and her mother, her sister, or at least identify them? Can you identify the other parties that were the co-conspirators in the defraudment of this? I got a call on my phone here from Arizona. I don't even know what to say about this. This is not even the number on the screen. This is another number. Look, if you're watching the program and you want to come on the program, I'm going to suggest you call that other number, because Arizona, I don't know nobody in Arizona. And you have to call me forward. Arizona? God. Yeah, call the other number on the screen if that's the case. Area code 246-838-8253. How you going to tell an 80-plus year when she can't come out to Barbados? I got one more to tell y'all, family. I'm going to tell you it right now. Just one more thing to tell y'all. They say that her sister had no interest in her sister, that Glenda, Mrs. Stewart, rather, respectfully, sorry, Mom, for calling by your first name. Mrs. Stewart, Mom, respectfully so, showed no interest in Barbados or the land or her sister. That's what the rumor is going around. What people do not know, which we have the evidence as well to verify, that her sister was sending money on a regular basis to her sister. She was in England, yes. Came home off and on, yes. But she was sending money all the time to her sister, though. Mr. Franklin, did Ermine tell you that she was getting money from her sister? Probably not. You know why? Because she wasn't going and collect it. Although they would talk on the phone and she would tell her, well, look, I sent you some more money to take care of the house, get the house clean, get the land clean, do certain things. She would tell her these things. Oh, I know who that is. I got you. Rastafari, brethren. Okay, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. I got you. Ooh, international business right there. Yeah. She would send her money all the time to take care of things, get the house clean, get somebody to come in and help you with her situation, her medical situation, her addiction to cigarettes and rum. Although she was getting a pension as well, because she was getting a pension as well. She did some work for the government for several years. She had a job. She getting a pension, a pretty pension. So the idea that her sister and her was not in good standing, that's not the truth, Caswell. They had a family dispute. The dispute was that somebody tricked her into, let me phrase that. She decided, based on the advice of men in suit and tie, to sell property that she had no right selling or had no authority to sell, period, that didn't belong to her. So of course his sister had an issue with that. But guess what? The money wasn't sent in a bank account. It was sent via Western Union, but y'all would not have known that. And at some point after a while, the money sat there and 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 pile up and pile up and pile up. And at some point, Western Union in England contact her sister. Well, listen, look, the people in Barbados, it's been ever so long now. They never came and collect none of the monies you sent them. You have to come back. We have to refund you. We have to deduct what we did administratively, but we're going to refund you all the money you sent your sister because she never came and collect anything. But y'all didn't know that, right? Did you? So moms went down to Western Union and collect the money she was sending her sister all that time. Erma never went and collected a dime. None of the money. Why? Because she preferred to live the way she was living. Plus, she wasn't in her right mind because she couldn't go anywhere because there was in fact, the guy that owned the shop said to me, well, let me not even put all that out there. It became so bad that when she would go to the shop, and I hate to say this, she wasn't dealing with her hygiene very well. And although she would still walk to the shop to buy her cigarettes and rum, it became such a foul odor from her that she had to wait outside. She wasn't allowed to even come in the shop anymore. Look, get you these cigarettes and the rum, let she go along back part she come from. Don't let she come in here. It's unfortunate that we let our elders get to this stage and men in suit and tie who could really have helped the situation. And Mr. Payne would have known she had a sister. He had access to the sister. I mean, never said a word, never contacted her other than to have her sell the same land that she told him she wasn't selling in the first place. Jackie said she had letters, but no assets. Letters, but no assets. He certainly did. Put in the difference. Okay, hold on. Putting it differently, many persons assigned as lawyers as an executrix of their wills. It's a fact. A lot of lawyers become the executors, right? And you know what's happening after they, especially the people ain't got nobody, and if they donate it to some charitable organization. Otherwise, that ain't going to happen. In some cases, that ain't never going to see the light of day. Sounds like this guy has his foot in his mouth. Would have been better for him to say nothing. I totally agree. But what he should have done is speak the whole truth, nothing but the truth. But if you ain't going to do that, you even better off not saying a word, man, because now you can't undo what you done did. You tell him, Alex don't own nothing, but you didn't even know he in a will as labeled as executrix. Then you want to speak law now about executrix ain't got no right to own land, but maybe he inherited the land, maybe you thought of that. There has to be a paper trail. Just follow the money, you're going to find out who's who. There's no ghosts in Scooby-Doo. Once you unmask the ghost, I guarantee you will always find a human being. Savage. Caswell didn't know she had a will to begin with until Real ISIS made him aware of it in the comment section on the Marcia Weeks show. Show it to ISIS, man. Not ready? Got more goodies today? All right. I see you. When you're ready, show me, man. Alex saying is Venter Plantation deed, about 600 acres, 1920 to Beatrice Henry. People are frightened and have reasons to be. I understand, family. You know what? He said Caswell and Frank and David Simmons had it falling out. I wonder why. I don't know if they did or not. I don't have a clue. We could get arrested for telling the truth according to the cyber bill that's being looked at again. we could get arrested for telling the truth. Well, family, I've been arrested for doing all kind of stuff. If telling the truth is one of them, well, here we're going on. The truth shall make you free. So don't be frightened by that document and whatnot. Use wisdom, family. Use wisdom. Don't be reckless to be out here telling people and saying all kind of stuff. Use wisdom. But do not be imprisoned by a piece of paper. He called my warrior, Alex Mitchell, and my more warrior, Alex Mitchell, an interloper, but ended up learning the so-called insulted interloper was one of her executors of the $1 trillion estate. That's funny, right? That's funny. I thought it was too. Look, family, the comments, I can't keep up, man. I can't keep up. I've tried to keep up. Listen, I'm going to have to advertise a place for some in-house help, man. I keep saying it, right? I can do a little, I can put up something soon. Watch it. All bark and no bite. He really showed himself up. Serious, man. Elitism, serious. I don't know. You need to create an OL and throw it in. Oh man. Hey, listen, Maria, come look. Let me Sonia, right? What we're saying here, Sonia, Jane Gardner knows a lot of these old lawyers well because they are involved in her property as well. For sure, Sonia. Look, Barbados, listen, tomorrow morning in Barbados, believe you me, it is going to be a new day. What Caswell Franklin did 2 nights ago has literally opened Pandora's box. Because although, I don't know what made him, in fact, I know why he said it. The ancestors grabbed him, you know. When this Sister Cole mentioned Jackie Stewart and Glenda Stewart name and Maria Stewart land estate that was defrauded from her children and her children's children for generations to come. Something took over him, you know. He got taken over. Like if you watch it, he got taken over. And Marcia gave him the road of escape, like the good Christ-like individual, because let's use the word alleged. Let's not personalize. And he's like, no, this is facts. And he spoke, and he was a vessel that the spirits took him and spoke through. And he spoke truth. And we heard you, Brother Franklin. And we thank you for your testimony. We give thanks for it, and we give thanks for all of it. But you have opened the box now, and there's no closing it. Oh, I know your phone is going off. Yo, I know your phone ringing. I know it ringing. You're getting messages, and anyhow, holler at me when you get a chance, man. And arrange to have those guys on Marcia's program, because they ain't coming on here. You know what I mean? They ain't coming on here. House of Cards. Guess what? We the high win. They have raped the national insurance scheme. Of course, all Lifeline. They have raped it as a fact. That's why now they want to defer the debt, because they got to borrow money to pay who next. Because what was there ain't there no more. Ain't there no more. So the plot is very thick. Okay, no, Alex. I see you, Jackie. I got you. Kensington Plantation. So hold on a second. If she owned Kensington Plantation, World Cup coming up. Let me ask a question here real quick, Alex. If Beatrice Henry owned Kensington Plantation in 1947, 73 acres, how is it that they built a whole stadium on it? And by the way, who built that stadium on it? Who owns Kensington Oval? Somebody tell me who owns Kensington Oval right now. Because if you say the government owned Kensington Oval, how did the government acquire that piece of plot when it was the government was squatting on it? Is what you telling me, Alex Mitchell, and claimed it through adverse possession? How did the government, who owns Kensington Oval, family? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me who owns Kensington Oval, please. He made people think my Alex Mitchell is a crook and fraud. I wasn't letting Caswell get away with that for sure. Man, that's serious with Caswell. I don't know what made the spirit took over him. I'm telling you, man. See, this in the game, family. That's why I keep saying the ancestors, Draxol. Why you think Draxol name keep being mentioned lately? The ancestors are crying out from their graves. We are in the month of what they call it? Emancipation. What they call it? Emancipation. Understand the crime was committed before the emancipation. How you going to celebrate emancipation and not acknowledge the blood that was shed for you to become emancipated? How? Nah, man, we ain't dealing with that. We invoke the energy tonight, man. Let it rise up in this nation. Let all those that were slain rise up in this nation. It is that time. It is that time. And that's the thing, though, family. Because, look, I'm going to leave that one for last. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the bottom of the comments here. Other plantation lawyers have sold that they don't own the pockets, the money of this. They don't, hold on. A lot of plantation lawyers have sold that they don't own the pocket. A lot of plantation lawyers have sold that they don't own and pocket the money for the sales. Look here, man. Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's all right. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Everybody phone ringing, man. Believe you me. Everybody phone ringing. Show to everybody tuning in, by the way. Tell a friend and tell a friend. Notice of liability needed. Can somebody prepare that? Because listen, it's time to start filing documents, man, and pulling these people in court and make them bring 40 evidence in court. Bring all your documents. You don't want to get your documents. In fact, let me ask a question. If a lawyer was on a case and a new lawyer take over that case, does that previous lawyer has a professional courtesy to give the new lawyer the file or copies of that file, all the documents, or can he hide those documents and dispose and shred them and hide them? And if he does so, is that a crime? Can somebody answer that question for me, please? One of the lawyers that's watching. If you want to post it, inbox me or send me a WhatsApp. Instead of counting sheep, the lawyers count money to fall asleep. Nah, they count the frauds they do. They count the demons that they in bed with. That's what they count, because believe you me, night that's only run today, catch it. I like this though. I like this. I like brandy. Well, cognac. You got jokes. I like it. I suppose you are a lawyer. That's what I made that. If you're not a lawyer, if you are a lawyer, the herbalist, if you know some of the law, answer that question for me. Is it professional courtesy to pass the file? Or it's best to hide the document so that the new lawyer don't know what you did? Serious. All of them is the same thing, a bunch of money grabbers. So that's why you gotta understand these people are all about greed. That the same Alex would love to be in the old boys club. I care zero about them, about none but greed. You said the same Alex would love to be in the old boys club. I don't know. I don't know, Leo. I can't speak to that. But I know that he's been advocating for his family's estate for a while. That I do know. They all have their families and in-laws in strategic places. Yeah, well, the people too. That's the best part. The politicians are lawyers. I wonder why. That is why they don't enforce the breathalyzer test, and they need to drink a lot of rum to cover their deeds. They got to numb themselves from them demons, of course. So seriously, this is they are absolutely ridiculous. Being a lawyer, politician may be a terrible combination. It might very well be. All these land matters are going exposed where the money stolen from the victims of the Ponzi schemes, per national insurance scheme went. That's what's going to show up. Of course, follow the money, family. Follow the money. Follow the money. And our national insurance went for sure, for sure, for sure. Lord have mercy, Emmanuel. If I tell you something, you would not believe it. You kidding me? By the way, I saw a link on YouTube for Beverly, a sister named Beverly that transitioned recently. Does anybody know whatever happened to Nurse Beverly from the hospital? If anybody knows that, please let me know, because I've been wondering about her, not heard anything. And remember, she was one of the ones that first came on that said she was the one administering the shots that they came in during the COVID time. And she was, she was supporting it to some degree and had also taken it herself. Can somebody tell me if what's going on with Beverly, the nurse Beverly? If you know Nurse Beverly, someone show me and let me know, man. Here's a question. How was George paying her personal representative and never got the elder any assistance? Oh, he got her assistance, all right. Lawyers keep all the money. He said, don't be imprisoned by a piece of paper. I love it. Listen, I am so serious. I'm not telling people to go and spit in the wind. I'm saying, if you're going to spit, know what direction to spit in, so that it doesn't land back in your face. I didn't say you can't spit, but not in the wind. At least not if your intention is not to have it in your face. Rastafari, it hurts. Don't compare politically incorrect with those other talk shows of nah. Listen, everybody got a role to play. And that's why you always say, I don't, my thing is, I can't sit here. I got a call. In fact, I didn't see the program. I got a call early morning. I got a few calls that morning about this, and yo, you heard what the brother said? Because a lot of folks know that we've been putting it on the program here. But I didn't know. I don't know. Why would Caswell say something about it? But I don't know Caswell know anything about it. I mean, I heard he was in Barbados on the ground. I actually read something he wrote that was said about Barbados on the ground. I don't think I agreed with it. In fact, I think I had mentioned before that I would like him to come on the program and speak to it. But that never happened. Maybe he didn't. It just never happened. But when I heard that, I had to go and see what was going on. And when I saw that, I couldn't believe that, and nobody said nothing about this. Just let him come and say this like this. So I figured, let me answer the question. So I'm asking Caswell, just to come and clear this up. You ain't got to come on the same platform that you spoke on. Just clear it up. Call those names that you ain't called. I put it out there tonight. I gave you the information, the exhibits today. I showed the pictures of the lady house. I could show you the rest. She's your good friend. I even have videos, Mr. Caswell. I even have videos. Man, look, man. I have the Oval records, and I am the landlord at Island Revenue. Well, I guess that's revenue. And all other government departments from 2011, most at 2.7 per month. Man, listen. So they ain't paying you for the land, Alex. They got World Cup coming. Listen, man, listen. Now is the time for you to make this thing happen. Of course, and Oinata knew that. Man, look, this is getting out of hand. Courts corrupted. All documents must be turned over. Facts. All documents must be turned over. Good. Mr. George Payne, I hope you hear that here. All documents, man. And the thing is, we got so much copies that if something missing, he don't know which one we have. It'd be like a shame, because Well, this is included in this right here. At this stage, though, then people ain't really concerned with this. They concerned with going to the other side, man, because, you know, time is such. Let me try to get to the bottom here real quick. That's why affiliate lawyers end up in jail for land fraud. Alex Mitchell would never join crooks of any level. Stay free and clear of crime. For the record. For the record, man. Miss Motley, I don't know if you're paying attention to my program, if you don't, but here we're going on. A lot of things are coming up here about the World Cup, and I don't know if you might be aware or not aware, but it is alleged that the property of the Kensington Oval was built on stolen land. Then again, what is Barbados, man? You heard it announced? Send me the information, man. Send me the information. Send me the information. Family, it's been one of them nights, man. It's been one of them nights. It's been one of them nights, man. Look, 2 hours, 2.5. I don't want to be on here this long. I don't want to be family. I out. I don't want to be on here this long, man. That kind of talk thing. We put the information out there. We reviewed it. We analyzed it. We dissect it, and we have questions. Now it's time for those who have the answers to bring them forward. Isis says she want me to play Jimmy Cliff. Is it Isis? What song you said you want me to play? Somebody said they want me to. I had a special request, man. What was it, Isis? Because I had a tune already, man. But victory, Jaja, give us victory. Oh Lord, I know my enemies is my friends. It's those amongst you, family. It's those amongst you. You see, that's why I tell y'all, man, it's those amongst here. Barbados is all stolen land. That's why we got to claim it. If I play Jimmy Cliff, they definitely gonna shut this off. Jimmy Cliff is one of them big artists that they will shut off for sure. For sure, Isis. In fact, wait a minute. I have sign line up, man. Good God of grace, Lord of his mercy, man. The British stole from the native, now the blacks want to steal from their own. That is it there, boy. That is it. That is it there, man. That is it right there, man. Seriously. Seriously, man. Can't believe that. That's what it come to. We want the World Cup call off. That'd be crazy at this point, man. AG, bring them security guards quick. He must smell a rat, yeah. He must smell a rat. Listen, family, the way forward, and I've been saying it and I've said it before, is I'll say this before we part for the evening. We got to get in tune with self. By our divine self, we can overcome this little struggle, because collectively, all we have to do is leave Egypt, not ask the government to do this and do that. Simply leave. Let's establish our own community, our own governing community, establish our constitution and our rules and regulations that we are governed by. All that other stuff don't apply. Ain't nobody going on here, and if anybody goes on internet and try to assassinate somebody's character in some unconstitutional way, you gotta take what you get, cyber bill or no cyber bill. I know some folks ain't trying to hear that. But to create a law, well, I'm sorry, because gravity is a law. Cyber bill is not a law. It's not a law. It's one of those, what do they call it? is one of those statues that they create to control you. It's like when I was incarcerated, they had when you go to the visit room, they had a vending machine. But there's a sign on the side of the wall that says prisoners or inmates are not allowed to go beyond the line. Now listen what I'm saying to you. Paint. A can of paint was opened up and somebody put paint on the ground and put a sign on the wall. And then they told you to obey all the signs. So then you gotta look at the sign and say, prisoners, inmates are not allowed beyond the paint. You can't go near the vending machine for whatever reason. They felt you, I don't know what. They had a reason. So when you walk there, you had to look at the paint and then stop automatically. Because the paint become the authority over you. Listen to what I just said. Paint had the authority to tell you where you could step or can't step because somebody else somewhere told you to pay attention to a sign. So you know that, I used to step over that regularly. Excuse me, step back. Pardon me, I played dumb. Step back. Look, I used to play dumb. What? Paint, what? All right, and I would then go and sit back down. My point is, don't let paint have authority over you. However, be mindful of those who trying to put paint to be your master. Be mindful of those who create statues, these Pharisees, these scribes and Pharisees, and try to put paper in an era where paper is becoming obsolete. That's why don't let them put paper to be your master. Remember, I tell you so. Use wisdom in this day and age. Use wisdom. Show it to Richard again, man. Give thanks, family. A policy, hence the policy enforcers, also known as the police. Those are the policy, thanks, Leo. Those are the policy enforcers. You call them police, but police is just an English word. It's really a French word that called policia. And the policia is just the policy enforcer. They're there to enforce the policies. These are the policies of the plantation. You are a living creation of the divine source. They don't have no authority over you unless you submit to it. Use wisdom, family. Know your status, know your standing. In and out of law. Rastafari. The cyber bill is nothing more than a BLP censoring tool. Say it again. The cyber bill is nothing more than a BLP censoring tool. I love it, though. I love it. Well, let's just get rid of the B then. I mean, simple. Anyhow, family, at that time, man, Jimmy Cliff, ISIS, man, you pulling a hard one there. We can do something a little different. Family. I ain't even gonna do that right now. This is why you're gonna say, man. This is why you're gonna say, ISIS. This is why you're gonna say. People of Barbados, myself, my fellow brothers and sisters, it has dawned upon me that in our efforts to move forward as a people in a new day and do what is right, that there are forces that we are fighting against. Now, these forces that we are fighting against are not the flesh and blood we think. As we saw 2 nights ago with Brother Franklin, and I witnessed it. He was taken over by a spirit. And I watched when the shift happened. You got to watch it. And we recognize that he spoke his truth because the truth was spoken through him. He became that vessel, and the ancestors chose him for whatever reason. I'm saying to you tonight that we're not going to play a song tonight. I'm going to give you a message as I was chosen to speak this message, that we rust not against flesh nor blood. Don't hate your brother Caswell. Don't hate your sisters. recognize that there are energies that we are dealing with in this nation, that people are practicing all kinds of different arts and craft. And we have to prepare ourselves for that particular battle because it is upon us. Whether you're a Christian, Muslim, Jew, or Gentile, or whatever you subscribe to, be that. Be that. Look into yourself. Take time to get to know yourself and know who you are as a divine being created in the image of the Most High. Because as we know, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And the Word took on flesh and became, and dwell amongst man, rather. The Word took on flesh and dwell amongst man. So we know in this, explain this in a way that don't let the system as it is tell you and define who you are. Know yourself. I can't stress that enough tonight. Know yourself. So it don't matter what piece of paper they bring, especially this one right here. Man, if I was to read this one here, I'm telling you, this would upset. Look, but I was told not to. I wanted to, but Spirit said no. You leave that one there for now. And by the way, this too have on the court steel certified true copy. So this ain't nothing that I put on Canva or whatever program. I had to go all kind of fake messages going around now. People on WhatsApp, people create fake WhatsApp messages to implicate other people in some conversation that they don't know nothing about. God give us victory. You got some different people roaming around the players' family. Rust not against flesh and blood. Gird yourself, gird your lungs, family. Surround yourself with the whole armor of God, family. It's that time. Know yourself. Get in tune with your divine self. Let me move forward. God is forward moving. Out of Egypt. Out of Babylon. That's what it is, family. Y'all have a great night. And recognize that mental health is an issue. This lady was living in this condition for how long? And everybody around her waited until she passed away. Had hopes. But nobody reached out to help her. Man, no, man. No, man. All is mental. That's right. All is mental. We are all here having this experience called life. And we all call for different reasons and for different seasons. But guess what? This is what we're here for tonight, to get this straight and get this right. Y'all have a beautiful evening. Full joy your weekend. Make the week strong beginning. Move forward. We're going to connect on money-making magnificent Monday for the follow-up of this program. Because there's going to be a follow-up, you know? So we're looking forward. Y'all be good, be great. In the meantime, and in between time, that's how we're going to do this tonight.
Real news for the people in real time.
Yes, real news for the people in real time. At least lastly, first, Empress Reserve Menin. Yes, family. One perfect balance. Love you all, family.
Real news for the people in real time. Politically incorrect. Reality from him all over the place. Royal elect, it's time to get in place for real news for the people in real time.